to you. You're delusional, bro. Delusional. All right, man. We had a great time, guys.
Yeah.
It is 2 o'clock. The Katina man is at the big board. Neil is locked and loaded. They're ready to take you in to the closing print. Do not forget, Apple, Amazon, after the bell today. We had a couple of Mag 7's names yesterday. We're going to have a couple more today. Are you guys staying back for the aftermarket show, or is that not happening today? I don't know. I'm just asking. Yeah, for Apple and Amazon. Oh, because Apple's 4:30. That's right. That's right.
Oh,
yeah,
no, but Amazon, though, they got to stay for Amazon.
Amazon comes out pretty quick.
I can confirm that they're staying.
Yeah, you can confirm. Okay. All right.
Such a disturb.
There's Ram. There's Katina Man. There's Adara.
They're not ready.
And you know what? Neil is that way.
Oh.
Big earnings after the bell. What should we do? It's not just Apple. There's also Amazon. Are we disrespecting Amazon that much? It's like, oh, Apple this, Apple that. Oh, I know you. Okay, Sharif, I know you guys did say Amazon, but a lot of it first was just like Apple. We get it. Apple, 5 trillion company. Apple, all-time highs. You know what, though? I'll be straight up. There's one thing Apple doesn't have. They don't have any exciting updates coming out like Origenics does. That's ticker OGN on the NY. You like that, don't you, Joe? Nice the American. The company has now activated its phase 2A clinical trial in Australia with its first site fully operational and patient dosing expected next. They're developing ONP-002, an intranasal treatment targeting concussion and mild traumatic brain injury. That's an area where there are currently no FDA-approved therapies. Alongside that, Origenics has spent the past year strengthening its balance sheet, raising capital, resolving liabilities, and restoring exchange compliance. The focus now shifts to execution, with clinical progress underway and additional CNS assets under evaluation. I want to shout out to Origenics. Thank them for sponsoring this portion of the show. Big shout out to Origenics. Big shout out to Apple. Apple is doing absolutely fantastic, but I feel as if you guys all saw what was going on this morning, right? Like crazy volatility. Randy's like, did we see it? Did we not see it? I mean, it was absolute insanity right off the bell for a lot of names. And I know that feeling. Everybody knows that feeling where we get all that crazy price action off of the open. And just as like an obvious recap, like the days where we have Bloom doing, it's pullback in 30%, right? And you get a similar thing, like DRAM is going absolutely ham. You had IREN with a huge move. You had Microsoft with double digits. It's the kind of morning that we always joke around like, oh, you don't want to look at your personal account. Like this was a day where you definitely wanted to look at your personal account. But from the trading aspect, I can totally get it. I totally get it, everybody. The bell hits at 9:30. You see a massive green candle. You buy into it. Sometimes it reverses right away. The opens trapped you, and it does it almost every single day. Sometimes don't trade that first few minutes. Just read the first few minutes. And those 5 minutes can tell you everything you need to know about where the stock is going for the rest of the day. It's the single most important skill that you can learn as a new trader. So we're going to show you exactly how to do that. In just a couple of seconds, we're going to, according to Ramin, exactly how to do it. We're doing it live. And we're going to show you. You guys can see the screen behind. We'll be ready. Sean's ready to teach. He's ready to go. It's a blackboard. He should get the chalk out and just start diagramming what you guys should be doing, which is all good. But it is incredibly important, those first few minutes, because I'll tell you, it's not every day will look like today, where you could have made every single irrational entry possible on a lot of those stocks breaking out, and it would have worked. Most days, you can get burned chasing those types of moves, overreacting to the first little bit. This is a day where you definitely got rewarded for doing so. No questions asked. Someone just put in the chat GLW. I didn't even look at this one. You could have blindly taken this as a breakout. Close your eyes, punch long through the high, ride it to a top, just buy the dip into the first support, close your eyes, buy in front of this, and then it goes. Close your eyes, buy in front of that, and then it goes back into the top. That's just the kind of morning that it ended up being, obviously. So, you got to be at least a little bit careful as you're dealing with that open trade. You guys can see. These guys will get it going. I'm only in a couple of things when we get to it. Both of them are, one of them reversion, but this one, DRAM at my level. So just anyone that wonders, I had 5150 waiting for it all day long. We finally got it, but now we are good, so we'll stitch it together. Y'all know what's up here, and we talked about it. So Sean is going to show you the most important skill you need as a new trader in the first 5 minutes. Let's go to the screen.
Thank you, Neil. Here we go again. It is your 5-minute opening range trade. We often sit there, the market opens up, we get all that feel, and we're like, oh my God, the market's going up, the market's going down. What am I going to do? I'm going to punch in long, I'm going to punch in short, I'm going to wait for something to develop. Right here, do not trade the first 5 minutes between 9:30 and 9:30 a.m., 9:35 a.m. if you're looking for a 5-minute opening range. You got to give it at least that 5 minutes of work, right? So here we go. Read them to predict the day's trend. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to scalp in and out of a trade based on the opening range trend, all right? Impulse buying, win rate. Never a good idea. It's like you jump right in there. You think something's going to work. You impulsively buy it. That's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to technically build up a strategy. And here we go. Opening range break plus RVOL, relative volume breakouts. That is a win rate that we can get behind. So let's have a quick look at what we're talking about. The first 5 minutes. And I'm going to show you an example right after this. You're going to mark down the highs and lows of that opening first 5 minutes. And we're just going to use 1 minute candles to do that, right? The first 5 minutes, let's find the highs, let's find the lows. That's what you got to do right there. It's no problem. Hands off. Just mark them down. Put those lines up. We'll show you in a couple seconds. Then you're going to make sure that there is a good amount of volume in your name. Right? The relative volume, we have greater than 1.5, as long as it's really greater than 1. You want to have more volume than what the stock normally trades with, and you can get a good idea of that in the pre-market to see if there's any action. But more importantly, I'm going to show you again, it's that breakdown or break up. That's the volume that we're looking for. Then you're going to look to execute that trade. So the minute that that range has been violated, either to the north side or the south side, we enter that long or short, okay? So we got to make sure that we are outside the boundaries. And then, of course, you can't be a day trader. You can't be a trader, period, if you don't manage risk. And I think that with the studies that we've done, 2 to 1 is what we're looking for in your first range break down, out, or up, okay? Here's an example here. This is on the Nasdaq. So we use something that's pretty easy. It's a triple Q's name. So this is your Nasdaq, and this is what we're looking at. Right into here, this is your first 5 minutes. So we open up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the bars right into here. So this is your opening range, all right? We're either looking for a breakdown, which winds up happening, or a breakout, which also winds up happening here as well, okay? So right into there. You want to watch out for that first little candle there, the up and down. Remember, we have auctions that happen right away in the morning. So we want to give it that first 5 minutes. And this is the range that we're talking about. Well, what winds up happening is we set our goal. Does it break higher? No, it doesn't. It breaks down. We volume check down here as well. We have an extended volume. We actually have more volume right there than the opening candle on the first 5 minutes. So yeah, it's a little more than 1.5. It's almost double your last candle right there. So the relative volume, we give that one a checkbox. What are we looking for next? The signals. Well, there's the breakdown. So that's our entry. And there it is right there at 674.35 is where we hit the short. Then we set our stops. We go 2 to 1. So if the move down, if our stop out is going to be at the top of the day's break, that's 67.20. So that's about $2. We're looking for $3.50 to $4 on the way back down in. So 674, $3 is right down here at 671. So that's our target. What winds up happening is we put our stop loss in there for 1R. That's it. That's the 1R range. So there we go, 676.25. That's our stop. Matches with that level. Perfect. The way down, there's our win rate, 676.25. And where does that get hit? Right into here. So it doesn't take you too long to make this 2 to 1 trade. But the best part about all of this is you have to place your entry signals, which is we've gotten right here with these 2 bars. Then we've got our stop loss, which we've got at the top of the 5 minute range. And then the profit target is given to us by 2 to 1 based on our stop. So right here, you see that it hits, and then it gets kind of choppy the rest of the way, and we start to move a little bit down. But this is an easy way to set up your day as we move forward here with this lesson. So again, it's the opening range break. Give it 5 minutes, let the trade settle down, then make your decision. In that 5 minutes, it gives you enough time to see what the market's doing and get yourself comfortable with the trade that's ahead.
Exactly, Sean. So everybody out there, draw the opening range tomorrow at 9:35. Get it out there, see how the rest of the day plays out, and let us know. Like, post screenshots in the comments for us, DM us. Let us know how it goes for you guys. So it's all about reading that first open and getting an idea of where it's going to go. Patience is a virtue. It's not an easy one. Here's the crazy thing about patience is we always talk about how you need to be patient as a trader, and one of the best skills, one of the things that gives you the most patience in life, I don't know, I'm speaking for myself
Kids?
here. Well, okay, now I'm speaking for both of us then. I don't want to speak for you, but I feel like I could. Is having like
A wife?
Kids, family, we can extend it further. No, I'm just gonna keep it at kids. I don't want to just keep it at kids. They give you patience. I think that's like the first. It is probably one of the best. Or it could be like nieces and nephews. It doesn't really matter. Just kids in general. They do preach patience. It's not an easy skill to develop because I think we're of a mentality now, especially in the world. Like everything is at our fingertips. Nobody's patient for anything because you have answers in 2 seconds. Any information you want, you can get. Anything you can build, you can do it in 2 seconds. Where it used to take a lot of time. Like I don't have to remember a phone number. It's crazy. We have a buddy. I don't even know how this is true. You have a buddy he remembers every single phone number that you had from high school. Like if I messaged him right now, Zane.
He does?
I swear, I would go WhatsApp. He was looking, I'd be like, what's Sean's phone number when we were in grade 10? And he would, you want me to do it?
Yes.
All right.
No, because I didn't know this about him. I believe you.
I don't remember my own phone number when I was in high school.
I remember the number, so I'm going to be interested to hear.
Hang on a second.
Neil and I, of course, went to school together, so we can ask.
I don't know.
We can ask our 45-year-old friend if he remembers what my phone number was 25 years ago.
He just turned 47. It was his birthday, I think, a couple days ago.
That guy is old, man.
Well, wait, and we're old. I'm just throwing, I mean, you guys already know we're old.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like 57, so no, just playing around with him. Yeah, no, that should be fun. Let's find out if that's true. I mean, does anybody else? We know Adara has that crazy memory, but that would be impressive, man. I didn't. And how many of you guys out there remember your phone number from 20 plus years ago? I think. I feel like now with cell phones, we're gonna keep the same number forever. But back in the day, when you had those landlines, I feel like there was a bunch of different lines created because you needed one for internet. You needed and maybe someone had their own line or something in the house. But yeah, wow, wild times, man. Thinking back about all of that. Well, we did have
your messages, dude.
Yeah, check your messages, my guy. What the flushing down? I must hit the wrong button there. But yeah, we just did the normal trade there on Jersey Mike. We got back there from the gym, and it was just like it hadn't even opened yet. I actually ran into Neil in the hallway. He's like, I give up. I'm leaving. And then it was just a matter of time.
Oops.
Yeah, it was like 10 minutes after that. But again, I didn't, it wasn't like a huge position or anything. It did help us get back to green, which was nice on the day. So that was a good one. But $21 all the way up there. We have some good top outs around $22.60. It hasn't been overly crazy, but again, the lower end of the range was 21 to 25, and it actually came out at 21. Remember, all morning we were stuck at $23 there on Jersey Mike. It looked like it was going to open up in and around that area. All of a sudden, it was 21.50. The top was actually 21.50 when it opened, but it opened at 21. So they actually brought it down in because I was sitting there watching, and I was planning to stop out if it broke through 21.50. Then all of a sudden, and I told Neil, I actually hesitated a little bit when I took the first trade. It took me about 8 seconds to get my stop order and everything because I just wanted to make sure. I knew it wasn't going to be like a SpaceX name where, we had to get our order in immediately because there was going to be so much action there off the open. But yeah, it was pretty good, man. And this low wick, we actually looked that it didn't break. It hasn't broken through 21 as far as I know. Like I took the trade, never went against me. I didn't see a red tick in the account. And then it just started to go up. And yeah, we took 40, 50 cents. Then it went up. Then we took some 22s there. Then it went up again. So I think we actually did really good on the management of this stock so far there. The problem is we were preparing that amazing lesson that you guys just saw. And I didn't really pay attention to this, but maybe a VWAP take there. I think on the way back out, why don't we stop out of a little bit there? And my stop order's still in, but we'll change it for now to this area. And I'll just get out of, what do we have left? Okay, we can get out 25% or so of this, maybe 50%. 21.73. So let's go 21. Is it 21? Yeah, 69. We'll do that. We'll get out of 50% of what we have left if it breaks back down below that area. So Jersey Mike's, congratulations to everybody today. It looks like, it's not at the high end of the range, but for now. And again, it's
pretty
not
clean. Like
it's not
still
down
too low.
4% either, right? I mean, this 4% is just because it's representing that $23 mark. So
which
obviously,
was lower from the range was the midpoint of the range too.
Yeah,
so it was 21 to 25. So in some ways, really, it was. I'd say like a disappointment, but I wish I'd literally I just given up. I go outside and I'm on my walk and I'm like, oh, I guess it did finally open up. But you know what? I think I would have been stopped out. So
no, you wouldn't have. It didn't break. I'm telling you, it didn't break.
When I looked at the 1 second chart, I think you would have had to be robotic fast to put your stop in. I think to get stopped out, you would have had to put your stop in faster than humanly possible, would be my guess.
Yeah, and as I was trying to explain there.
And a human, it takes at least
I literally took 8 seconds because I sat down there and I wasn't even looking at it. I was dealing with other things. And then it opened up because I knew I had basically 3 units on it. It's like the same trade I would take in Nvidia or something like that. It wasn't a huge trade to like sort of write home about, but hey, we like it. It's going to be my P. And actually Palantir I'm still up more on Palantir. How about that? Than I am on Jersey Mike's. And so just to show you, this move wasn't even. This was about $1, almost $2 at that low there. We stop out on a break back upside of VWAP. So, we were pretty patient there. Look, we can talk about that 5-minute breakdown trade that we just talked about there at the desk as well. We can go over some examples. And actually on Nvidia today, I did wait for that. And, some days it will work out, some days it won't. But there's the breakdown, I thought, of that range, right? And we took it at 934, 935. It gave us a little bit of money. And then once it broke out, the reason why this doesn't work for me today is because my initial stop, you see, I followed the rules. I actually got out right there once it broke back above that first range. But the problem is I started dancing with the devil once it was coming up here and going longer, and we got stopped out there. So, all right, NVIDIA, you got me on that one. But we'll continue to be positive here today, and just thankful that Jersey Mike's was a decent open, and we'll see where it goes from here. My plan of action, I just told you where the stop out is. Let's put an offer in and around here. Let's just play levels now. 22.40. It doesn't seem like we've gotten too much ahead of that game yet. So, yeah, we'll just play the game and wait to see what's going off here with Jersey Mike's. And pretty good, man.
Yeah,
maybe we'll have some subs this weekend.
It was a great one. Oh, that's what we're
I got to stop at Farm Boy tonight, pick up some sausage. I got to ask Joe for directing stuff.
We said we were going to get subs for the Jersey Mike's site.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, by the way.
Do you eat subs, Joe? There's a lot of stuff Joe doesn't eat.
Who knows?
Does Joe like subs?
Look at this. This is Sharif. I was going to show you here. This is Sharif's, what he leaves behind us right there. So that's the unhealthy part of the egg with about all of these shells there.
Waste not, want not.
It was hard-boiled eggs there.
I'll be straight up. I don't care what the hell thing is with the egg whites, because I've done the egg whites. I did at university too. But if I did that in front of my mother,
yeah, you would get your ass.
I'm not even saying the rest, because slipper, boom, 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 and then next thing you know, that you're eating egg whites. I don't know what CYCU is.
I know, I just saw that too.
But it is halted 12 times. I made up that number. I glanced at my halt page. There's like a lot of CYCU. I eyeballed it, so I just said 12. It could be 15. It could be 10. It's done 500 million shares. 500 million shares with that many halts means, what are they even doing? Like, the halt band sometimes will defy logic, but that's okay. It's at $1.50. It's tapping $1.50. It's going to halt with moves that seem small, but 10% is not much when it is $1.50. So expect some craziness. You were looking at that small capper. With something else, I was that's my train of thought with the egg white thing that got me.
You were just saying that it's there's no way you would leave that much on the plate.
Oh, well, it's
all that kind of stuff.
It's like the principle behind it. Like, any West Indian parents are kind of like that. It's just.
Oh yeah, no, we used to.
Like, what are you doing? I'm sure. Look,
I think
George
it's any. Yeah, it's like just basically the immigrants.
It's like
like we used to have to use, like we used to sop up, the sauce on the pasta plate with the bread and all that kind of stuff. So anybody that's out there, or the oil and vinegar from the salad,
yes.
All that kind of stuff, you wouldn't leave a drop on your plate. That is for sure. But yeah, shout out to Sharif there, having a lot of eggs in his life. No, we're never ready for you, Joe, but we are ready when you are. Joe now has a mic. I don't know. Where's your other mic? Is it dead on batteries?
We like this one, man. Yeah, we switched it up.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a big sub guy, Neil. Not a cold cut sub. I think there's a big difference. Like, I'm not out here to get any form of cold cut fire me up a meatball sub.
Right.
Fire pretty good stuff. Selena got something. I think it's like Lambo's sub or something like that in the city. She brought one home the other day. It was pretty good.
I'm with you. Turkey breast or meatball. That's
meatball.
basically it.
Exactly. Yeah. So
if I'm making it myself, though,
I like a tuna.
I'm tuna if I'm making it myself. Like tuna from like.
It's fair.
I don't know. I've never had Jersey Mike's before, but
yeah, and I'm not.
If it's good, I love tuna. But if it's
for me, do you guys remember not Quiznos? It was like Topper's Pizza. I don't know if you guys remember.
I know Topper's Pizza. It's still in North Bay.
Is there one? Yeah. So my grandpa used to get me meatball subs from there back in the day, and then Firehouse Sub has a pretty good one as well.
Oh yeah, Firehouse Sub with meatballs. Yeah. If you want the generic stuff, of course, you get the Subways.
We had teriyaki chicken and rice for lunch.
We'll have to figure out Jersey Mike's. Maybe we'll get some. There's 3 or 4 here in Toronto.
Yeah, there's one.
We did say that, and I got completely distracted here, so we didn't order any Jersey Mike's. But yeah, it was a lot of fun there trading that IPO. And yeah, thanks, Joe. Yes, pop in whenever. Last night I told you what last night we had for dinner. We had teriyaki chicken and broccoli and rice and all that stuff, and that's what we had for lunch on their day. So I should have probably gone ahead and done a Jersey Mike's. I think we missed the news on CYCU. So we did talk about it. We can go up. I mean, Adara's back up there. $55 million contract over 5 years. Is it guaranteed? We can find out. I don't know. Which basically triples its market cap. Yeah. So. Go ahead.
Yeah, this came out at 8:20 a.m. $54.6 million 10-year award with a not unnamed top 5 global consulting firm, specifically in the health and human service system. Apparently, state government agency expected annual revenue of greater than $5 million. Apparently, it's their biggest deal in history. Their history.
Okay, well, we're opened up.
Yeah, market
now.
cap $3 million, enterprise value $9 million. No long-term debt. They only have $300K in debt. It's not bad, but they didn't have any. Like their revenue growth was non-existent. They were actually declining revenues, but obviously this is going to change things. So yeah, if it's guaranteed, it's pretty good. But just sort of remember, lots of things can still happen. They can get this. They can get something like this. There could still be like offerings later on. I know we have a lot of people that say they like to swing these types of things. Up 500 points here and going right to zoom it out. Go to the last barcode up here after it broke $1, and that was about $1. Let's call it $1.60 to $1.90 with the resistance in the high 90s. So when it gets up there,
I thought it was going to halt there.
It just hit the halt band at 77. So 177. The halt band is at 77. Oh, it just moved. How did it already?
Did it reset somehow there?
No, that's too fast. Why is the halt band now it's at 81? They shouldn't move that.
It might halt down here. I don't know.
So yeah, the halt band's now at $1.81. If you guys happen to be watching, we also have another. Whatever. Like that's so weird. The halt band should not reset that fast.
Wow, there's just
someone just
size.
took 300,000 shares on the bid at 69.
What the hell? There was literally somebody. I mean, I have the level 2 up right here.
They're winning.
There was literally just like 300,000 or 400,000 shares that just showed up on the bid that actually got filled. Like that's fine. I mean, I know it's 502 million shares today. It's fine. But what did we say the float even was on this thing?
Let me double.
But yeah, 502 million shares.
10 million
done today on a 10 million share float. So yeah, 50 times right now turned over on that one. I think I'll try to take some long if it tries to halt again. Bunch upside there. Finally trying to break through. If you look at a longer time frame, you're right into an area. Well, no, not actually. Now that this zooms out and opens up a bit, 200 period moving average. That's nice. Looks to take that out. You know, I always think that when you're on this kind of a run here, that $2 is imminent. You know, like. I don't know. We'll see if it has some sort of get up there to get back into $2. But that's what we're looking at right now, CYCU. So that's going to be a good one there, moving upside. You know, the market's been really holding pace right here, up 3%. So that looks like we're going to probably hold for the rest of the day with Apple coming today at 4:30. That should be interesting to have a look there. The Nasdaq up 3%. And, you know, looking at some of the names that are out there today, it's just been such a wild ride. This is a look at the S&P 500, and it's, you know, Amazon coming tonight. The healthcare names, the health technology names all getting hit today as there's a flight out of safety and more over to some of the more aggressive names. And we talked about that with the tech spot. We'll bring that up in a second. But yeah, J&J, that's not great. I mean, I'm in it. We're in it lower, but, you know, J&J at 255, that's down 3%. Might be an opportunity today. Eli Lilly down 4%. You know, definitely always opportunities in Eli Lilly whenever that thing goes down. Really believe that what they're doing is right over there with the GLP-1s, and then there's some GLP-3s coming there with the peptides and everything. But all of the risk, like look at Microsoft, its biggest day since 2008, I think. I was going to say 2008 there for Microsoft, 17%. Because I know when it was up 14 or 15%, that was true, but maybe it still is. There, and Oracle up 7%. Meta with 888s not doing great today off of their earnings. And we'll discuss all of this as we go through the day. But yeah, consumer non-durables downside today again. Nothing really standing out too much. With Jersey Mike's coming through today, you got McDonald's there, down 1%. Jersey Mike's, of course, not in the S&P 500, but Chipotle reported yesterday, and they're up 13%. So that's a huge move. There's Yum Brands, that's going to be KFC and whatnot. Starbucks with their report last night, they're up 3%. So some nice get up back in that name here tonight as well, Starbucks. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be here's a good spot. The producer manufacturing names today.
Crazy.
Yeah, because again, we know Caterpillar, a little bit of love there for the data center buildouts. So is GE Vernova, and then Lam Research and AMAT, and ASML is not in here, but I think if we just check out what ASML is doing, I'm going to say it's probably 6 or 7% today. I mean, they've been
If it's not up, that's ridiculous.
It is, wow, okay, 6% right there. So we actually nailed that one somehow.
You said 6 a lot.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because what else did we say it about?
No, there was a couple of times in the lesson, and then there was a few times this morning. I don't know which stock it was, but something was trading in the perfect range.
Oh, that Qs trade was 676. That was the price of the Qs.
I'm going to show Aaron that clip.
That's probably why.
She'll hate it.
But ASML up 6.11% there. We'll change our verbiage on that one.
6.7.
We're getting ready for Adara, but I just want to show you here. The CYCU has not rehalted again. If anything, it looks like it's trying to make a move lower. I think that break where that limit up, limit down bands are up here at 180. So if it does get up to that day high break, it probably halts on a day high break, which you guys tell me, that would be good. Right? Like there's the day high break right there, and then the halt at 150, open up 160. Now you're at Neil, I almost said it again. We were almost at 1.6 something there. And we'll just wait to see if it does pull back in. I think we can really test that gap fill there, or wait for it to halt on the way back up. In the meanwhile, we still have Nvidia short. This has been, here all day. We got waxed there early. We talked about it, but we've, played it back into the short side. Without any further ado, Adara's over there at the wall with your informative lesson of the day.
Good afternoon, guys. We took a break yesterday because of the people. We're going to talk about it on this board in a second, but we're back with another edition of To the Window, To the Wall, where I pull up an infographic window and we talk about it on the wall. Let's talk about the Fed, because of the last 9 FOMC meetings, we've had at least one dissenting vote in 8 of them. That is significant. That goes back all the way to the meeting that occurred 1 year ago today on July 30th, 2025, when you had 2 dissenting votes here from Bowman and Waller, and it continues up until the meeting we had yesterday with 3 dissenting votes. Now, we did have a bit of a reprieve. Warsh's first meeting didn't feature the family feud he's always talking about. We actually had a 12-0 decision to hold rates steady, but we got some more dissent again coming through yesterday. So this is just basically a look at the dissenting votes, again, at all of these 8 of 9 meetings in the last 9 where we've had some of these dissenting votes. So you've got, of course, the 2 dissents going forward here in July 30th of 25. Then you get Myron's first meeting, which marks his, as you guys can see, continued pattern of dissenting. He dissents at all of the meetings in which he's present, always voting for a 25 basis point rate cut, or in cases where there was a rate cut, a 50 basis point rate cut. So he always wants rates just a little bit lower than the rest of the Feds. Now, the one thing this infographic doesn't show is who voted for what, which I understand is a little bit annoying, so I'll go through it. In the case here of both the October and the December meetings, you've got one Fed voting in favor of, a more hawkish tone. That would be the case of Schmidt, and then Schmidt and Goolsbee. And then in the case of Myron, he's always voting a little bit more dovish. Then you go to the really interesting part of things here, and that's going to be April 29th, 2026 meeting. This is the last meeting under the leadership of Fed Chair Powell, and the last before we get Warsh coming in. So this was really the end of an era here, and that era ended with an 8-4 decision to hold rates. You've got Logan, Hammock, and Kashkari all actually voting in favor of removing the easing bias, and then Myron, of course, voting for a cut. And then that we fast forward to yesterday, where you have, again, a 9-3 decision with 3 Feds wanting to raise rates. So I think it's kind of an interesting look. It's not yet available, at least not in this updated form, on X at TTV Research, but you'll be able to find it on X at TTV Research on Saturday afternoon. I'm very excited to be at this board with you guys tomorrow. I have a really fun infographic to show off that I've basically been sitting on pretty much all week because I wanted to unveil it on Friday. So if you like SpaceX, stay tuned because I have a fun SPCX visual for you tomorrow. At least I think it's fun. I hope you guys like it as well. But yeah, join us on X at TTV Research. Join us on Trader TV Live. That is today's edition of To the Window, To the Wall. But for now, I send you back to Sean and to Neil.
Thank you.
That's why we're looking for that Neil Kashkari there, because we have a couple of
Thank you very much.
couple of
I don't like him.
yeah, couple of dissents there, Neil, for Kashkari.
Not me.
Look, tonight you can go over to Trader TV Research and find all of that Adair had just talked about there. Even Robinhood and Vlad right there as well. Roblox earnings preview is here. We didn't even get over Roblox yet. Here, I'm going to find, oh, there's a little Jersey Mike's reference. I really like their logo, actually. Shout out to Jersey Mike's. There's a little bit of Rivian. Wow, there tonight as well. RJ there with Rivian earnings coming tonight. Wow, it's going to be actually pretty busy. I'm actually looking here as I scroll down. Where the heck? What the? Okay, here it is right here. This is what I'm looking for finally there for tonight. It's going to be a busy one. Apple at 430. Other than that, Coinbase at 415. We've got Amazon. Amazon's up 5% right now, so that should be a good one that we'll look out for. Amazon, Roblox, Rivian, Reddit, and then we wait for Coinbase and Apple coming. And then this morning, I didn't even look at Crocs. They were down early. I don't know if they battle back with this move in the market there today. Ferrari as well this morning, Stellantis, a MasterCard. We saw not a great number from Visa the other day. We can double check that on MasterCard.
Speaking about battling back,
yeah,
that made me think of Ian Rispetto's super chat here. Thank you for the super chat there. Ian, we appreciate you. What do you guys think of VRT here? Thinking of starting a long position for the portfolio. Thanks. So for Vertiv, again, we're not here to give financial advice, but what I will say is there was something I said this morning when everything was going absolutely ham, and it was along the lines of, if you aren't bouncing in this move today, there's a little bit of concern there. Like, you saw me voice a little bit of concern with ARM when it wasn't going higher, or when it failed that high and wasn't going higher. And then I look at Vertiv, and that failed its breakout and then just continued to trend down. So that gives me a little bit of pause. Like, I would be asking myself, okay, well, why don't they want to, when I say why do the markets not seem to want to buy this up on the dip if we're still thinking, I like the company. So, let it settle down. It's really only been a day and a half, and there's really good levels coming in on this stock. Like, I don't have to go out to a monthly chart to show you $200. So it was a high in late November. It was like a pretty clean February breakout at the 200 level. So there's even a chance that could come into play. So that'd be my thought. I'm not in love with, why couldn't you go today? Like, why didn't this get picked up?
I like Vertiv, I thought.
Yeah, but I'm like, if the market's going to be up 3%, the Nasdaq's up 3 points today. I'm just going to give a quick update on DRAM because I'm going to tighten the stop on this. It's just not falling. If the market's up 3% today, everything else is blasting, and just these parabolic charts, you could at least have held VWAP and be sideways and hold some of the gains. So that would be a little bit of concern. It's how the market's reacting, maybe not the company. So just a quick update here. I was giving this to the highs, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go lower high, tighter stop. You can see how little DRAM is dropping every time I've been short. Not very far. This move here was about 60 pennies. Right now, the best fill I've gotten is a quarter there. So I'm just going to tighten the stop. If it takes out the local high just above 70, I'm going to hop out of it because this thing is absolutely crazy. John Womack, SpaceX, is red as well.
Oh, wow.
That being said, I don't think anyone is, when we're talking about Vertiv on a dip, you're thinking, maybe you're getting a little relative value because it's pulled back so far off the highs. I don't know that anyone's thinking about SpaceX in that context, but you're right in that point. It is also going lower. You should be concerned about tech stocks that are struggling today.
So I don't know what Trump said about Axon. Axon, of course, the creator of the taser. So I'm guessing that maybe Trump is looking at putting, yes?
I think the issue is that he went long Axon after there was a military contract. This is all reported, so don't confirm this, but there were some potentially eyebrow-raising trades that were made.
Eyebrow-raising trades with the current administration? Never.
People's
That's
Eyebrow?
not something that we've heard of before. But it's not a crypto name. No, but I just was looking at this and thinking to myself, like, I don't know. I mean, is Trump right to go long on this name? Or, it's looking pretty good. Generally, you don't want to see a cross, but this actually cross is fine to me. 50 period crossing the 200 back up to the upside. It's not crossing to the downside. This is the downside cross that you would be most worried about. This upside cross actually looks fine to me. Trying to hold on. It's only down 1.5% right now. So I think this looks okay. I mean, tasers seem to be better than bullets, in my opinion. But again, I don't know. We don't really.
What do you mean seem to be?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like I don't.
Seem to be.
It should be more.
Probably not a
maybe
laugh.
less effective, but better for the health and safety of the general public. But yeah, I don't. Not to get political about whether or not police should be having these things or not. It seems like it has some jumping abilities to it. And if you do break, I mean, I would say this is a nice move down from 640 into 480. Like that's already down right there. 20%, 21% right there, top to bottom. So we've seen 20% be one of those areas where we've bounced off of. We already showed you that, like Microsoft's move was 20%, Meta's current move is 20%. So, there's moves that are down there. So that, I don't know if we're at a bottom yet or not, but that seems like a decent spot right here to get long. So, you can definitely have a look at AXON, Axon. Thanks for the super chat. And whether or not President Trump is right or not, I don't think it's ever been wrong following people's trades if you believe in it as well. So, it's just an idea. And if you like it, get involved. Now, I don't think there's a problem there. And if it breaks 500 to the downside, I think you can get out, right? So a little bit of a base there for Axon.
Someone said they also do body cams.
Oh, perfect. I mean, I think that's even another thing, and if you are believing in a police state or something like that, then yeah, body cams and tasers and all that seem to be, something that, tasers is not new, right? I mean,
I'm willing to bet we're in a world now where you're going to have the body cams. Maybe this is already happening. It probably already is. You're going to have body cams from officers, and then AI is going to be breaking down scenarios and start maybe even finding ways that you can be a little bit more like proactive and recognizing like certain ticks and movements that might promote safety, whatever it might be. But the Overthinking Bear gave us a super chat and said, why aren't we talking about the market's most anticipated earnings today? Which you say is BBF. I had to look it up to make sure.
We're going to halt downside on that CYCU, by the way.
Dang it.
Oh, I can't get short, of course, because there's no
short.
shares.
Okay.
Well, there probably is shortable shares, but I just
but not free.
Not free. I didn't pay for it. Here it is. Oh, there it is. Just halted right there at 151 proof, and it's downside right there. So Axon, and we actually said that. Right, that there was a chance, and I didn't realize it would be the halt band, but there was a chance for this to fill that gap. And that looks like that's exactly what just happened right there. All right, so what Big Bear AI earnings are tonight? Okay, well, that should be exciting.
I did confirm by looking it up.
I haven't really looked at it.
Obviously, we're a little bit more concerned about Coinbase and Apple and Amazon and who else is reporting tonight? That's the biggest. Reddit,
Coin. It's actually not. Other than the first few names, it's not super, super exciting. But we'll be here, I think, anyways, to do some of those calls for you guys tonight, I believe. Anyways, I don't know if we'll stay till 4:30. But, okay, here it is. We'll just go into market events here. And just to check it out. Last time we were talking about trying to get to EPS positive, all right, on Big Bear AI. And we didn't get it. Like, we went from, minus 42 cents, minus 25, minus 49 into -3. That's what sort of spiked it up, right? And then we go, and we still get -4 right there. So I want to see them turn EPS positive. And with a few deals, we talked about the World Cup and security, and they have the heat sensors as far as we talked about body cameras and all that kind of stuff. But safety deals, they do have a deal with the government. They're Big Bear AI, and they just recently bought like a language model and have been implementing it as well. So, and that was also confirmed as approved by the U.S. government. So at the end of the day, I think they got to go EPS plus, and then you should be able to see this thing get back up to the upside. I haven't bought any more shares or anything in Big Bear AI. It's not a super large holding or anything. We did like this a heck of a long time ago when it was starting to move around. It's only been really going lower with a market cap. First of all, with a short float of 30% right there, right? And then you do have into this one, Big Bear AI. I just want to see market cap of still $1 billion. So that is relatively rich. Let's see.
Is that right?
Yes, that is right. But did he look that up or anything? Or
No,
what?
I'm telling. So remember, I said we have a friend.
Yeah, he did say it. He
Who
did say
can
the right
remember?
phone number
And
there.
look, you guys know how old we are, okay? Like it's not a secret. Almost everybody.
Don't worry about how old
understands.
we are. Our friend just turned 47.
He just turned 47, and he remembered
We may be the
Sean's phone number, like house phone from high school, which I guarantee that wouldn't be the same number from now. Like that's insane.
I don't even have a landline.
He knows it's crazy. I wish I had memories like that.
I cannot believe
it's
that,
almost
but-
like a Dara's memory.
It's not like we phone each other that often. That's the
Nobody
thing.
uses
It's
phone.
I
don't know his phone number now when I was just looking at the WhatsApp. I have no clue.
Oh, I have no idea what any of our friends' phone numbers are.
But
I
that's
don't
the
know your
power of what we have. That's why that
I
actually.
don't know my parents' phone numbers, to be honest with you. It's wild. I call it up and I just push. Like I have an idea, and I think I could get it like in 3 or 4 times.
I know my mom.
They just recently switched.
But I don't. I know my mom's iPhone, but I don't know my dad's.
See?
Because my pops he's tech savvy, man. Like I can just text message and whatever. He'll use WhatsApp.
No,
Like,
but you're
mom's-
never dialing anymore. It's like the same thing with the kids. We talked about this with money.
It's true.
Like before, when you went to the store and you bought something, you took out a $20 bill that you had earned all week or whatever it is. It was your allowance, something like that. And when you bought a cheeseburger or whatever you bought with it, you got less back. And it was more like, oh my God, like there's a point to saving because I don't want to actually hand over physical cash.
That's fair.
Now our kids, it's just like, oh, here, Dad, let me see your phone. Tap, haha, that's it. And I'm out of here. Like they have no physical, it's just like a digital way
It's
right
so
about
true.
now, right? And so I feel like the same thing there with our phones.
It just occurred to me why I know my mom's. It's because anytime you're filling out stuff for school about who the emergency contact is, if it's not my wife and myself, it's
Yeah,
her. So that's the one I'm having to write down every now and then.
Makes sense,
I believe we are going to we had another super chat.
Oh, already?
Oh, okay. I thought we were going to see in a quick little segment another super chat here from Nick.
Yeah, I mean, you know, great long, as you mentioned. Yeah, I mean,
Where is that?
look, yesterday at SoFi at 15. Unfortunately, look, we had it written down today again. We didn't grab it because there was no dip, and then we were too busy, as I said, looking at Nvidia. But yesterday on SoFi, we did actually, and this is the trade that I like. It's the washout to the downside there, especially on earnings, right? I mean, let the stock wash out, and I'm sure I could find many examples like this, probably even ones today, that made the move down. And then we didn't get involved in SoFi until right here. So let me just zoom back over. We are going to go to the screen in a second, or back to the desk. But there was the move down early yesterday on earnings, right? SoFi was getting killed. I don't remember what it was down. And then we finally found this little base right here where, again, it tried to get going, came back in, had a good bottom. The only problem is down here, there wasn't like a lot of volume. I remember talking about that yesterday. So we did take some, I think it was 05s or something, and then we took some at O's. And not only that, it matched. That's 1490, but it just came back in, based out, and then the rip started happening to the north side. So it did give us a base at 15 that we liked. Came back into the close yesterday. I mean, everything was wild yesterday. And then today, again, nice move there for SoFi off of yesterday. So, yeah, good continuation, Nick. I think you got that one. And I didn't buy any more down here. SoFi is still a holding of mine, pretty decent one there in the longer term. I actually have it in both accounts right now. My sort of TFSA, which we have around here, which is tax-free savings, and then and then the RSP here. This CYCU, it should open soon, but it's 131 is the tap. So you're
Rule of thumb, you know how it is. If you're considering trading it, go check out and buy the locates right away. Don't wait until you want to use them. If you're considering trading the stock and you think it's in play, it's so annoying because I did the same thing. I saw the halt, I went over, and it's like, it doesn't matter. You can't, in 15 seconds or 10 seconds, you can process shorts really fast here, but no human is fast enough.
Did you see how much it was? It's cheap?
Yeah, because I didn't even.
Oh, you didn't even go through it.
It's less than 1 cent.
Oh, what? Okay, I'm gonna go.
Yeah, like it's 0.8 of a cent. Like it's 0.8 of a cent.
Okay, I'm gonna go get it.
0.8 of a cent. My goodness. I believe we're going up to the desk with Sia. We're going up to the desk with Sia. Our bad.
I'm back on. We're going to take a look. The SPY is currently up 1.5%. You have the triple Qs that are up past 3% mark today. You have the Dow up 1% and the IWM also up 8%. Let's take a look at SKHY, not SKHY, SKHY. That's SK Hynix here. That's up over 17% on the day today. So now UBS has initiated coverage on SKHY with a buy rating and a $204 price target. That is a 61% upside from yesterday's close of $126.79. So we have UBS analyst Nicolas Gaudois has said that at current valuation, we do not believe SK Hynix shares fully reflect structurally higher memory profitability. He also believes that the memory semis industry has changed drastically and accelerating memory demand from agentic AI as well. UBS is expecting DRAM demand growth to reach 36% in the year 2027 from 22% in the year 2026, which is this year. Also, SKHY is securing long-term agreements, advancing HBM negotiations for 2027, and expanding capacity, all of which can potentially support stronger margins as well as long-term growth. Not a bad look here for SKHY. That's up 17% on the day.
Yeah, and I mean, not a bad. That's one way to frame it. It is it's pretty. It's so pretty. As our good friend, you know what? Anybody that bought the dip on these, please tell me I have it. Anybody that bought the dip on the memory names?
It's pretty. It's so pretty.
And hold a second. Sizzler. And if you know, you know. And I'm not endorsing anybody that watches the remake of that. I got some beef with Hollywood. You're allowed to create new things, Hollywood. Not everything has to be a remake. Because what's the point? If you can't do it better or do it fresh, then don't bother doing it. There's lots of good fresh stuff out there.
Also, why would you hire Jack Harlow? And I don't hate on Jack Harlow, but he's not an actor. So to me, that's kind of a weird choice. Because he starred in the remake. Like, I watched the trailer, I was confused, and I did not engage.
There you go. At least you watched, I might have watched 10 or 15 seconds of the trailer because I'm like, oh my goodness, white man can't jump. And then I was like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? That's all I'm saying. I love that. Man, I love it. It was a great film. But back to the memory chip names, because that's what we're talking about here. SK Hynix, it's worth keeping in mind, and I don't want to be that guy, but hey, we do look at levels, we do look at technicals. So remember, this was not a traditional IPO. This was simply a US listing. They did raise a boatload of cash. It did trade almost exactly like an IPO. So from that regard, fine. But remember, it was a 149 issue, and then the 150 was the obvious spot. Right? Like 150 was support for a couple of days. When it lost it, look how nasty it is. Where have we crested to? $150. I think it's part and parcel why I'm sticking with the level I like on DRAM and shorting that this 5150 level. A, because I like the level on DRAM. Okay, so CYCU did open back up 135, so just a bit above that 131 tap. That was pretty close. It's trying to battle higher. I think a false break of this Halts level, 150. Like if it tries to break,
I'll try long.
150, that's the key because it was the prior high. It's halted 3 times at 150 today, so that's obviously a key level.
Let's see what happens here with CYCU.
I didn't really catch that.
No, Steve is here. We're just gonna wait a second on Steve, just to wait to see if this gets going there. 144 and change. Now, I mean, you were just talking about it, Neil, so you kind of stopped because you heard about Steve there. But yeah, I think you're right. If we break above this 150 area, again, is that where the limit up, limit down is?
Yeah,
I've
like
marked
multiple
it, haven't I? Oh, there it is. Oh, I actually didn't save because I had marked it before. Maybe I marked it on a New York stock. But here we go. We'll see if this does wind up halting. It's the only one that's really doing anything right now as far as the halt. What is this FXHO? No, that's not halting right now either. So yeah, it looks like, what was that, 155 we just showed you there on the limit, or where was it? But here it comes right now. It's gonna try to give us another halt. I think it might be worth
57 now.
57, okay. I think it might be worth taking it on the halt, especially since it would halt above this gap area right there. All right, okay, and then of course someone just smacks it right back down again. It's only done 526 million shares, so I'll probably only take about 200 million shares on the halt because there's clearly enough volume here for that. Of course, we're not doing anything like that. All right, well, hey, without any further ado, I mean, we had Mitch on earlier, and we welcome our good friend Steve. How are you doing, Steve? What a volatile market these days.
Well, guys, I was up late last night buying dips, so I'm doing just swell. How you guys doing?
Good. What are you trading on Blue Ocean there overnight, or were you buying futures? Were you buying some things in the Kospi? What were you doing?
A little bit of everything. Mostly Micron. Micron's been my big trader recently. I've been really trying to keep things simple with all the noise. And I'm thinking, hey, if the AI trade's not dead, I think memory is the biggest bottleneck. I think Micron's the biggest name. That's what I'm focusing on. So I got a whole bunch in the 720 to 750 range. Ooh. Now I'm just holding on for dear life and hoping this isn't like the last 3 times I tried this and I don't get washed out on the, runners.
Why? I thought, the way we closed yesterday on the Nasdaq, we closed near the lows and we had a horrible experience there from 3 to 4 o'clock with the Fed and just sort of coming back in. We saw the TLT to the downside, right? The long end of the curve was really making moves there yesterday. What made you so bullish? Was there something on a chart you could show us about going in there and buying ahead of what turned out to be an amazing decision? Nasdaq up 3% today. What gave you the sort of idea of, hey, maybe there is a bounce coming?
Well, I'm having a little trouble sharing my charts today,
okay.
So I might have to walk you through it. But essentially, I was actually short. I've been biased short as soon as the Kospi opens, because it's been working, Oh, sorry, an alert just went off there.
Sell your Micron. Sell your Micron. Was that the alert? Sell Micron?
It actually was my just keep an eye on Micron. Okay. So I think I did get stopped out of a runner position, which is how I like to trade these, right?
Yeah.
I have the core. It works. I put a high, I put take profits to take money on the way up. And then eventually I'll get washed out on some of the non-core position. So now I'm just
So when you're buying those 750s, I have the chart up here. We understand that you're having a little bit of issues there, but your first area, are you holding through this first sort of push in the first 10 or 15 minutes there? The market really started to go a little bit of a pullback at 10 o'clock and then another leg higher. So, how do you treat sort of this move down there? Was this sort of stopping out? We had Brian Shannon on the other day. I talked about closing 2-minute candles. Maybe that's when you look to get out of your runners once those have died down a little bit. What gave you the ability to hold this Micron trade here today?
Little luck, little skill. I would say I was preparing myself for a very big move because it looked like we were going to flush horrendously and we just simply didn't. So When that happened and we saw some really strong candles coming in, I'm just thinking, hey, we're set up for a really nice rally in the next couple days, even if it's just a mean reversion rally. At that point, I had no idea.
Yeah.
So I was trading a 1-minute setup because I was trying to short. And it didn't play out, so I started to take positions long at 720. I had no idea if I was right. It started working tremendously, and I added into that. So
720.
By the time it was pre-market, I had already taken my profit and locked in my gains, and I just had a core position that I was honestly expecting to get stopped out of. I didn't even look at the open. Today's one of the few days I don't have streams, so I actually slept in and just let the system work. System said it should be a big move, and so I'm just happy because honestly, I probably would have sold too much otherwise.
So will you? And again, Steve Talman here from Trade the Pool. Thank you for coming through one more time here and having some problems changing charts. So Neil and I will try our best to put up the charts we're talking about. When you say that you slept in, congratulations. I wonder what that feels like.
Must be nice.
And I was just thinking you just put in a trailing stop order, or do you have something that's continuously calculating a measured move, or how does that work? Because I'm just a simple man. I would say stop out if we break back down below 850 or whatever that number is. Do you have something where it's if there's a 5% pullback, do you get out, or how do your stop orders work when you're not in front of your screen?
I'm a simple man. There's better ways to do it. But I've been very overwhelmed this week, so I'm doing Pareto principle, 80% of the effort or of the result for 20% of the effort. So realistically speaking, I thought the chart looked good. When the chart stopped looking super good on the short term and I was getting tired, I just slapped an equal weight hedge on just so I didn't sell and lose my spot in the rally. And then I had alert set. And there's one right now. I don't know if you heard that one go, an alert or attention, but essentially just levels of inflection where, speak of the devil, right? Levels of inflection where I need to pay attention. So if I don't have a good read, then I hedge. If I do have a good read, well, I trust my read and I let it cook. So a lot of putting on those, so many alerts, a lot of putting hedges on and taking them off. And then as I see a bottom starting to form, I'll just add, and then I'll put a really tight stop on that ad, right? So if it works, great. If it didn't, like this one, I just did it before I took a shower and got ready for this. It didn't work, so I'm out it was I'm out $30 or something.
Yeah,
whatever,
Okay, yeah.
So this is how I like to do it, because the upside otherwise was that I have another tranche of shares for Micron if I did catch that 1-minute reversal. And that's how we got here. That's how I have shares at 720 still.
Gotcha. So I want to ask you a question because you mentioned Micron is what you're expressing for, the AI trade is not done, memory is not done. A day like today, because one of the things I was saying this morning, or I was observing is, hey, if you didn't bounce in tech today, that's a problem, right? So you could really start to see who was strong and who wasn't. Is the fact that there were like names like Bloom Energy or maybe like IRAN, like a few that just stood out a little bit more? Does that pique your interest to say, hey, is there a better place to be expressing this, or maybe it changes your mind on something? And on the other side of that, was there anything that this move showed you, hey, that's a short opportunity that you might have been able to notice? Just out of curiosity, those two.
Oh, great questions. Great question. You probably saw me cheese in there. It's because, my other biggest pickup was Bloom Energy, and that's been doing phenomenally off the 160 handle. So I swear, I'm not making this up. I've had a very good day. So the first thing is absolutely, I think it's good to be prepared from a fundamental perspective. For me, Bloom, GE Vernova, and VRT, those are my three big ones for the energy production for AI data centers, infrastructure build out. So if that narrative is intact, these are way undervalued still. So this is on, basically I have a large basket that I'm trying to start building for the AI trade. And I will actually have a big write-up coming out either today or tomorrow on that, breaking it down. Basically, I want exposure in memory primarily, but I also want lithography exposure. That's basically the guys who make the machines that make the chips. I also want, of course, the data center power stuff. And there's a few other sectors as well, a little bit into neocloud, but not too much. Thankfully, if you've seen the news with the margin calls today, that's been crazy. So that kind of brings us into the second part of your question. What looks weak? Well, the data centers, the hypercloud, what am I saying? Neoclouds, the NBISs of the world, they've been having trouble recently, and we were all trying to figure out why. Turns out Mr. What's his name? Leopold was getting margin called for a massive amount there. So that kind of explains that, and that's just showing that there's certain areas that I want to be more involved in than others.
Yeah, and NBIS, the number of names that are showing you 15, 20, 25% today is, it's absolutely insane when you really think about it. But I wanted to ask you a question. You said about you want lithography exposure because Lam had a huge day. One of the things I was mentioning when we saw that ASML story, like China's looking for ways to eat into their business, is that might make Lam and AMAT more appealing. Where would you look to be expressing that trade? There are so many places that it can get overwhelming with parabolic movers where you're getting some value to buy the dip. So was there a name in particular in that group that you like? Lam was set, last I checked, it was 17% to the upside, ASML 7%. So they all won. It's not like you could have lost buying the dip.
Yeah, great question. My favorite from a fundamental perspective is going to be AMAT. I think that's the strongest in applied materials. I also like ASML and hold a position there too. I think that these kind of become one of your kind of core positions or ballasts in this AI trade, along with compute heavy names like Nvidia, AMD, Dell's a little riskier, but stuff like that. And I want these to be kind of like my core that I trade around. And, stuff like neoclouds, that's going to swing more wildly. I don't want to have too many eggs in that basket at any one time, but this core is something that I really do believe in. And I think that, I think that's a great kind of way to approach this. So I'm looking forward to sharing this article later today or tomorrow and really breaking down, going into the depths of all those different baskets as well. Because there's some others that we haven't had a chance to talk about yet. But it's such a fascinating sector. Photonics, another area, for example, that I'd love to get in more later.
Ooh, I think you're speaking Sean's language there with
that's
photonics.
Coherent as well, Marvell.
Yeah, Marvell, Coherent, both those make sense.
Could be some place. Are you like Qualcomm at these levels?
There's when we're trying to buy the best companies and they're 30% off and we want this trade to work, I have no interest in playing anything that isn't like the best of the best. I don't see Qualcomm as the best of the best for anything but mobile compute, and I don't really know that much about it. I'm kind of a tourist still in this space, 50-50. Okay. So I'm sticking with what I know,
Okay, yeah. If you look at Qualcomm has a little bit of automotive too. I like it. It's on sale, same kind of way as that. But I do like, Vertiv, we were talking about that earlier today. So I really like the VRT. Look, I'm going to take it to another spot right here. And again, Steve Talman here from Trade the Pool. We want to thank him for showing up once again on a Thursday. Always seems like a regular here. That's great to have him. Steve, What about Meta? Like Meta down 9% today. I mean, we were just days ago, we were at $680. And I think we looked at it was like 13 or it was 12 trading days ago. And then this is what's happened to Meta. You have your charts up. We can't share them, so we'll share ours. But this is down into 530, 540 again here. Meta, you know, like I said, was just up at 680. Now we're having a downside play into Meta. Are we buying it on a technical level down here? I mean, you just mentioned that you want to start building a basket for AI because you believe in that story. Do you believe in Meta? Do you believe in them on potential rebound here after a little bit of a tough quarter missing there and their EPS not good moving forward? Potential trying to sell some compute power. But Meta down at these levels, for anybody that's still holding their shares, is there a spot where maybe we dump it? Is it too late? It's a PE of like 19 right now on Meta. It's pretty cheap.
Great question and an interesting name. So do I think that they are a winner of the AI trade? Absolutely. Do I think that they are going to end up being the biggest winner of the hypercloud or neocloud kind of space? Yeah, probably. Does the market have to reward that anytime soon? They do not. I think that there are better names that are more appealing. That being said, I do like this more than I like this more than I think most. I
mean, you picked Microsoft not too long ago, and I mean, congratulations on that one. Microsoft having its big. I mean, you just mentioned Bloom Energy and Micron. I don't know if you woke up and saw your Microsoft position. Maybe you're out of it. I don't know, but there was a couple weeks ago, Steve, where you were really pounding the table a little bit on Microsoft and telling us, because we asked you the same question. I think it was like, what Mag 7 name? You know, or what Mega name? I don't know if it was a Mag 7, but did you like moving forward? And you said that you were starting to build a position potentially off this low there of 360, 370 on Microsoft, and then kaboom, man! Today, its largest win on a day since 2008, we heard. So, you know, that's a big move there for Microsoft. A, are you still in it? B, if so, is this a trimming spot there? Because the last time we took down the 200 period moving average, we were all the way back here in January, and then we tried it again right there, and we failed both times. So what do you think about this move, and what is your current positioning on Microsoft, if you don't mind?
It's been a very good day. So yeah, there's too much to talk about. I trimmed, but only honestly, because just really because it was too much of my portfolio at this point. I had been really accumulating that thing because I believed it'd have its day in the sun. We got the day. I fully believe that this is a good trade going forward. Yes, I did sell about a little over a third to get me back to what I would consider still a little heavy.
And did you say that you sold because it's becoming too big of a position in the portfolio, or was it not that big to begin with? I sort of missed that part.
It was getting big and it was uncomfortable for a while. So not uncomfortable now. No. Now it's a comfortable and healthy size. I would never size that big on something that wasn't a mega cap. Like
right. Makes sense. Makes sense. Okay. I mean, yeah, Steve, we're pretty happy with the way this has been. You ran through a bunch of AI names for us there. If you could pick one, I mean, there's a lot of people in our chat right here today because today's been an explosive day. I mean, it's easy to say Bloom Energy or Micron. I mean, all those names, there's names up 20, 30% today. You know, IREN's another one that might be something that you're interested in. I don't know, in the data center build out, but is there something right here now that maybe we haven't mentioned that would be a good talk, and we could talk about it with you in the next couple of weeks, just like you made the sort of the play there in Microsoft? Anything you're looking at right now?
So many things.
I know.
I'm just going through my watch list here. One thing that really stands out, I love the structure of Dell still.
Okay.
Dell is a very, very strong name. It has been for a while, and it's been showing itself. One thing that I actually like about it is that I talked to my fundamental analyst friends about it. They're not thrilled. They think they still kind of feel like it's a lower quality company. And I think that it may be at one of those inflection points where we're starting to see that change. So Dell is one that I'm going to be watching in the compute section of.
All right, so not SMCI. We'll prefer Dell. Every time someone asks us a question, Neil's always like, "Well, whenever we talk about SMCI, I just divert people to Dell."
Well, that's my answer.
So
like, what do you think about SMCI?
Over there.
I think Dell about SMCI. Keep it pretty simple.
See, this is why we get along so well. Totally with you.
Well, among other things, but like obviously we enjoy having you here. One of the you keep it real, Steve, and we love the ideas for sure, and we appreciate you. Let everyone know where they can find you, where you can be up to next week before we get to talk to you again.
Thanks so much, guys. Well, you can always find me at Trade the Pool. I'm streaming there every day for Power Hour. I do earnings almost every day. There's the big earnings. You'll find us after the bell right there at Trade the Pool. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We got obviously a lot of big names, and it's going to be a blast. So come on in there. We'll have 3 great traders trading it live. I'll be doing a little presentation beforehand. I made a handy dandy slide deck. So yeah, come on over. It'll be a great time. You can find me on Twitter at Steve Teilman, STEVETEILMANN, 2 N's. Right in my bio, you'll find my Discord server, totally free. Come on in. That's where I really spend my time.
Perfect. And of course, right at the bottom of the screen, we have all of those details as well. Tileman with 2 N's, everybody. So thank you, Steve. Have a good one. I'm glad you enjoyed your rest, and congratulations. It's always nice to wake up to a little bit of a P&L bump.
Especially sleeping in too.
That is for sure. So, all right, Steve, take care. Have a good one, and we'll catch you the next time around.
Thanks so much, guys. See you then.
All right, there it is. Steve Teilman from Trade the Pool. We want to say a big shout out to Steve and Mitch, who we had on earlier today as well. And yeah, just a big thank you for that information. And I think we're all under the same impression here that, you know, that most recent dip down, and we talked about this earlier, I said it earlier this morning, right? And that is that, you know, at some point, some of the valuations are just going to get too good. And I use the examples of the software sector there. Like,
as well, Sean.
Oh, thank you very much. The CRMs of the world, you know, Salesforce, the ServiceNow, even Adobe, like some of these names, they just get so bad that they start to look good.
Well, about Adobe.
Maybe not Adobe, but
maybe,
you know,
maybe not Adobe.
Actually, you know what? I actually even looked at how bad is Adobe. But didn't Adobe have other? What do you mean Adobe? Adobe is, what do you mean? It's a perfect example, Neil.
Is it? I don't know.
Why are you throwing some shade at this one? This name is up much more than many other
I'm
things.
willing to bet.
I have
willing
my
to bet.
portfolio.
If I pick, and I don't want to cherry pick, but if we pick 5 reasonable software companies, put it in a poll and say which one do you guys want to buy? I promise you Adobe's gonna be dead last.
Oh yeah, no.
I'm doing it.
You can do it. Yeah. But the point of what I was saying is that
I know
at some point, you know, they get so bad that there's, you know, like there's capitulated volume down here that it bounces, right? I mean, and I'm using, you know, forget about Adobe. That's just whatever.
No,
it is.
I'm not going to forget about it.
No, we'll put the poll up. But I want to use a name like a Marvell where, you know, it's gotten from 330 down to 160 there yesterday. So the move back higher at some point. Now, we could retrace back lower tomorrow for sure. I mean, some of this exuberance is definitely in the market today. But at some point, like, does 5 straight down days in Marvell get you interested? And that's one name we talked about. I mean, look at IREN this morning, which is why we asked, tried to ask Steve a little bit about IREN there. And, you know, it's just like, after all, if you like the AI space and you think that there is a little bit of valuation issues, well, some of those issues have been corrected by these recent moves down. I mean, even another name, right? At some point, and even though Adara has been, she actually gave some credit to Oracle today, by the way. You know, at some point, it's just like, it is, yeah, it's all good there. Don't worry. But just more respect on the move, maybe. But there it is to the downside. And, you know, at some point, there's going to be a story or two, like today, that come out and give these stocks a bump, right? And so I think he's right, man. I mean, as bad as we saw with Bloom Energy, and look, that's why we asked Steve, like, he's trailing out.
Yo, by the way, like just now, ES fresh highs. I'm like, I just tightened up the stop on DRAM to break even instead of like the highs. And look at what happened when it took the break even. This line on the chart has no context on a 3-minute chart. The context is on the 15-minute. Here on the 15-minute, there was kind of this level in there, and then the day that we dumped, it was resistance on that long. So that's why I like 51.50 on DRAM. But I just tightened the stop and look at it bust out. So the market is not relenting. It's still going. But here's the poll. Maybe you might not like the 5 names that I picked, but they're the first 5 names that came to mind. So everybody hop in the chat because I'm curious. It's not my. I just think I personally would buy every single one of these before Adobe. But which software name are you rolling with? Type 1 for Microsoft, 2 for Palantir, 3 for ServiceNow, 4 for Adobe, 5 for IBM. Now, obviously, I'm forcing you to pick Microsoft on a record day. So that is what it is. You got to buy the top. I can't make it up. We can't go back in time. So let us know which one you are rolling with here. If you don't know what I'm talking about, jump into the chat. It's water's warm, or maybe like a cold. It's cold if you want it to be cold. It's warm if you want it to be warm. Jump in the chat by hitting the subscribe button and just type a number and hit enter. It's very, very simple. And right now, oh, look at that. Not a single vote.
Oh, you just said it and someone did it. Probably.
Let's see.
It was probably was Sia. What
now
number was
somebody,
it? 4?
You know,
It was medical meatball.
Medical
found
meatball.
Medical
Okay, well,
meatball.
medical meatball, you get a pass because
I'm
that's
also going with 4
that's
then
the
too
coolest
because,
name ever.
because every single
Every
poll
single
that
time.
we've called up has been inaccurate. So
Remember yesterday?
We should mark this down on this day.
Well, so remember yesterday, the dead last in our poll for the earnings names was Lamb. What's Lamb up? 17% today? 17%. I'm pretty sure that's probably the best earnings name today. Would be 18.9%. That's got to be better than Microsoft. So the one that got 2 votes yesterday, now Adobe, of course, has 5, ended up doing the best. And it is off a boatload from the top. This was over 20% to the upside.
It's actually even IBM doesn't really fit the point that I was trying to make, but
IBM doesn't.
But it is a good. It's a good battle back. I mean, the problem with IBM is it was not even part. It's not even part of this whole software.
I should have picked CRM in hindsight.
Yes, of course, because
but it was the first 5. It was the first name
IBM is quantum. IBM is way more than all those.
I didn't spend that much time thinking about the other names. Microsoft is obvious. I think IGV, Palantir comes into mind. ServiceNow is so easy it pops into your head. And then I had one more. I'm like, IBM. I didn't really. Yeah. It should have been CRM. I should have said Salesforce.
Yeah, for me the best. I mean, if I was going to pick a software name on there, I would use Palantir. But I just think that here with IBM, I mean, we did have that complete shocker of a pre-earnings report. You know, where it was down 20%. And I think we talked about Microsoft and having its worst day in forever. It was sort of the exact same thing there with IBM. They had their worst day in forever as well. And then it just kept on going. And even their earnings report was not well received. And we touched down to 200 and now bouncing back to the upside. So they're not even bouncing really, IBM. I mean, I like the stock. In a day where we see the market going absolutely nuts, you know, IBM being still down 2.3%, not a great look, I don't think, for IBM and their shareholders today, in which I am one. So that is not a good one there for me today, IBM. Okay, we did get stopped out there of Jersey Mike's, I guess, once it broke VWAP. Looks like we had about a 10-cent. Oh no, that's right. Our stop was at 75 break, so we had about a 10-cent there with a slippage. I don't know what. Maybe that was. I don't know what my stop was, but it should have been VWAP. But anyways, there's the breakdown there on Jersey Mike's. So we do get stopped out of half of what we had left right there, and now it's trying to battle back. So I think we'll take this opportunity now on JMKE and get a little bit out for Jersey Mike's again as we come up to some levels that we're talking about. There we go. We get an 82-ish fill right in the middle there. And that's because we've now taken back VWAP and we're just sort of bouncing around these areas. So let's take out another fill. We're pretty light now on J Mike. So, a really good IPO for them today, considering that, by this time, Cerebras, SpaceX, and all that, we're probably, SpaceX on their first day was actually fine. Yeah. I think there was a good pullback. We did hit a decent short. And look, even if you don't do these kind of plays, you could sense that this was coming back in. That's why we have all these outs up there. So I think you could have also, you could have also paid for shorts, that top wick. The other thing is there's not too much volume, but you could have played for this short. I mean, there's more money to be made on the short here.
That's the OB IPO entry.
Yeah, so we'll have to see. I can check to see. I don't think OB.
It was 10 cents a share to short this for us today, which was actually.
OB is.
That's on the more expensive end. 10 cents. So that's how good locates are. I know a lot of people can't go short on IPOs. We get that question a lot. How are you guys shorting an IPO? It's because of Real Trading. You can pay for those locates. Shout out to Real Trading. Scan the QR. I didn't even look to see this QR code right there, but I won't pay attention.
I hope the QR code.
10 cents is actually more than we paid for. I think SpaceX was 6 on day one. Usually we're paying 4 to 6 cents per share day one of IPOs. It doesn't.
And you're saying this was how much per share?
This one was 10, and that's per share. Which is that's not that bad.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's not.
No, but it's only
4
21.
to 6.
The only difference is $21 stock.
Yeah,
if you're talking about SpaceX, it's be almost 7 times the price.
The value in SpaceX was unbelievably good.
And there was so much hype about that.
I believe we're going back to the desk with Sia.
Oh my gosh. That was loud. The IWM is currently up on the day 1.2%. Let's take a look at 3 individual tickers for now. LVWR, that is LiveWire Group, is currently down 24%. So they've received notice from the NYSE that it's not in compliance with the section 802.01C, which is because their average closing price has been below $1 over 30 consecutive trading days. It has company has 6 months to regain compliance. You've QUAD here, Quad Graphics, that's up 5% on the day. It's just analyst commentary here coming in saying maintained at buy by Rosenblatt. And COUR, Coursera, that's down 18% on the day. They just reported a lower second quarter core revenue, which is what is causing that little bit of a drag down. Well, not little bit, that is a significant drag down of 18%.
All right, thanks. Interesting names that I want to talk about quickly was we had CoreWeave today. Steve was talking about, a little bit too much leverage on these names. And, you do see a little downside play there in CoreWeave over the last couple of days, and then Nebius as well, some of these neo clouds. And what is just like, these companies are buying these GPUs, setting them up and selling the compute power, like basically like renting out what, if you can't, you're not spending $200 billion. So they'll do that for you, buy the equipment, and then you basically dial into it, right? It's kind of like when Nvidia had GeForce Now. I don't know if any of you guys are gamers or whatever, but that's something that's, you can look at that as well. But yeah, so that's what they're doing. And then today, found out that, hey, maybe that blowout short is now over with. And then there's this squeeze higher against, that margin. So, CoreWeave, a nice day today, followed by, I believe Nebius was having a very, very similar day, up 23%. So there's a lot of strength in this market outside of the names that we're looking at, 27% up. I mean, here's just a basic watch list that I look at. And this is why I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know how Steve was so gun-ho last night that this market was going to reverse. But there's IREN up 27, Cerebras, like another memory name, remember they were supposed to come out at 180. They came out at 350, not their fault, but now it's back up to 203 again. So it's a nice move there. Marathon Digital, although we don't have Bitcoin doing anything, Marathon Digital upside there as well. Micron, we talked about Micron, SK Hynix 150, so that's upside. DRAM up 16% as well. And if we go down to the red names, like what is actually here, you want to talk about a software name, Shopify, that's down 5%. Meta's down today. Again, DraftKings, shout out to Michael Burry. Doesn't he have a position on DraftKings? That's down 4%, so that's not great. I believe he's long. We've already looked at some of the healthcare names with
Isn't
J&J.
he short? And he's also short.
What else is he short? He was. I mean,
Palantir's one.
I think the Palantir one is old. I don't know if he's probably still in it there. Maybe Derek can help us with some of the names that Burry's. Do you know anything about the current names? It's Scion Capital, right? That's Michael Burry's fund.
Yeah, what's he
so
short?
it's not actually his own money. Everyone keeps thinking like Michael.
I heard that he unloaded half his Palantir from him, but that was a while back. So people say he's still in Palantir. He could still be. I know a half was unloaded. He's short Caterpillar, basically at highs.
Oh, Caterpillar was another
off
one.
from highs. He's short Tesla. He's short
So he's in the money basically
Nvidia.
a lot.
Yeah, those are all really good.
Okay, that's a winning
long
trade.
Microsoft. He killed it. Honestly, when I think.
Well, it depends where he's long.
Long
Microsoft.
DraftKings and Flutter.
Right. I knew the
those
DraftKings
are-
there.
yeah.
That was the one I was just looking sort of see what he was long, and we know that he was long. Microsoft, you can't really lose if you look at the charts.
I remember Caterpillar.
in a position there, but
I went boo winning.
right, and also Uber. Yeah, if you look at Caterpillar again, another name that I have in the old portfolio with you guys here as well, and I just recently bought Caterpillar when we all bought it together there just a couple of days ago, probably around that 900, probably around 950. I can double check whatever day that was. It was either that day or the day after I bought some, but down into 800 for the first time. And then I was reminded that, hey man, Caterpillar has come from a very, very low base. I mean, if you go back into Caterpillar, this is so let's go back to last August 1st. So this was, I had already started to run. It was 4 to 450 last year at this time, ripped all the way to 1050, coming back in. But these are the levels, right? I mean, you're never going to nail something, but what you can do is reposition your portfolio. Just like Steve said, he's trying to start up a basket of AI stocks. He liked Photonics or Coherent as well, a possible name there. And he did mention the CoreWeaves of the world and things like that. So, this is the kind of stuff. AMAT, I believe, was another name mentioned. And I think AMAT AMAT's had a good couple. I don't think it's been hit the same way the rest of this market has. Oh, no, it has. Yeah, so 720, about the same, right? 720 down to 460. So you look at this stock, is like, how could you recommend that? Like we just talked about Caterpillar, that was $400. This was 165 up to 740. But again, if you like the space, you take advantage of some of this negativity, which is why we always talk about raising some cash and making that decision. So I don't know. I think there's something about getting out at the top and then rebuying some, but also letting your portfolio settle down and not getting caught with the same ideas. Because if you were like long weed names,
But that's a different story.
okay, if you were long weed names, those were really super hot for maybe a year, maybe a little bit more than that, and then they just fizzled down. And if you held the bag all the way down, that's a problem.
True.
And it's going to be a problem for people holding bags too. Like, when did you buy AMAT? Because right now, if you bought it anywhere here, and this is just one example, there's so many of these, Marvell, any of the names, Intel, whatever. If you bought Intel at 140, you're not loving life right now. This does remind me of weed, capitulation moments where we just tanked. Now, obviously, big cap names aren't going to go to zero, like the examples that I'm giving you. But at some point, it becomes so bad that it's good. And maybe Intel right down here at $80 has found a bid. Now you can buy it today and appreciate that move higher, or you can wait for a little bit of a lower take. I don't know if it's smart to buy something. What the hell? The Nasdaq's up 3.5%.
This is the best day.
It's
been a while.
Did not even realize
unbelievable day for the Nasdaq. And thanks to X2C.
Ecstasy, okay.
What's up? Roblox earnings should be crazy, right, parents? Well, see, this is one of those stocks that if you did like the parent index, we'd all be way out of the money. Because if I judged my opinion on Roblox stock by how much my daughter likes it, I'd just be losing money hand over fist, because it's like, oh, it's got to be good. It's got to be good. She's obsessed with it. It's addictive. Like the kids absolutely love it. So it's one of those that has not been obviously performing really well. There's been much better names in the gaming space too. That's the other thing. Other places to go which performed. But maybe this is one where it's been so bad it can finally be good, and we're going to find out after the bell with you guys tonight. I believe they're at 405 or 410. Roblox 405. There you go.
Well, I can go through like all of the times. I mean, it's also on X, but you've got First Solar, Amazon, MSTR, Dexcom at 405. You have Reddit, Roblox, Rivian at 415, Coinbase and BBAI. Both of those usually pretty much on time at that 415. And then at 4:30, you have Apple.
I'm not impressed there. But could you do that and even have memorized the percent expected moves? Because then I'll be impressed.
I think
obviously I am impressed.
I think that's an easy one.
Because there's like 5 big names reporting, and I just looked at it 10 minutes ago, and I can't remember which one's 405. No, but Roblox, of course, one of the bigger ones. Just keep in mind, like, it's still downward sloping 50 or 200 period moving average, but it is putting in higher lows. And I think a lot of times, we say like you don't want to chase the bottom. This is triple bottomed here on the daily chart. Triple bottom at 40. If it could $4, we'd be crying. But higher lows are trying to come in here. There is a potential for a breakout of relief rally on this bad boy. So yeah, Roblox, that's one of the ones that should be some fireworks. You do wonder, on a day like today, where there's so much like money that got made, like if we see any profit taking at the end, there'll be some people that want to put some cash to work. They just got some easy profits. I was just looking at another triple top, and it was in BMNR. Whoops. And then you just saw me live, typo there, BMNR. I don't even know what symbol I just typed there. BMNR, you can see it up 9.5%. It's not like crypto's doing anything too crazy, but this is a triple top on the 15-minute with a high of 1833. So obviously, we've said this before, there doesn't need to be a ridiculous move in ETH for BMNR to go up, the same way sometimes MSTR, who by the way reports tonight as well, they don't need to have a big move up in Bitcoin to go. Sometimes the treasury plays are just going to have more juice because they get shorted and they get some squeezes. All of that being said, just given that it's like 323 obviously here, I keep forgetting. It bugs me out because BMNR used to be like .am and now it's on the New York Stock Exchange. I still make that mistake, and it's probably been months now. But yeah, looking for a bit of a reversion here. It's at the level, but there's been not much until now to show any kind of a curl. So it's topped out. Just looking for it to break this consolidation down. That way I could look short just underneath, like maybe at 10. I think that would be at 10. And then the top here is like 18, 19. So it'd be about 10 cents worth of risk on BMNR once it decides it wants to try to break to the downside a little bit. So yeah, a little bit of time here until we get to the imbalances. So it's time for a couple of trades.
Yeah, I was, Palantir's been, we already mentioned that a little bit here, trying to get back to Greensville today on PLTR. This break doesn't look horrible. Bouncing off VWAP has been pretty nice. We've been holding VWAP pretty good there. Obviously, a lot of turmoil. It's my number one stock today, so we want to look back at it. There, we did hold VWAP. We got out once it broke through there, but again, good, well spotted, well traded there. And again, we let it just sort of calm down, right? We waited for about 10 o'clock. There's that opening range break again. There's the hold, and then there's the bust higher. So that might have worked again on the opening range. Give it a first couple minutes. These, I'm not even sure. I wasn't looking at it here. Those wicks probably, I think they did happen down into 120. So a breakdown there, you could have scalped out a little bit. But at the end of the day, you wait, you be patient, you find that top, comes back in, use some of these levels and downside. So even right here, bouncing off of VWAP could be something there for Palantir. So you don't come there, bounce back up, retest, you don't even get anywhere near VWAP, and now you're back into the 50 period and looking to get through. Palantir, although not necessarily a name I want to go long on because it's down today where it is. I do want to show you just quickly again as the market's pulling back in. I was actually debating a short in the TQs if this level breaks. So there's something there. But Jersey Mike's, just a couple more outs. We have very, very small amount of shares now. We're talking like 5% left of JMKE. Might just dump them all, but I'm waiting for like the last second run. So let's just dump our last 5% if it breaks $21. All my stops have already triggered. These were all manual outs, right? That's VWAP there. That's a 25 period there. So they're all just me getting out when I should. So there's a break of $20.99. That's the price we're in. For our last 5%, we push off or enter. And if that winds up going to the downside, then we're just going to stop out. All right, lower down through $21. Okay, so we'll take advantage of it, hopefully, and be able to look at Jersey Mike's again at $21, maybe tomorrow. But right now, that's going to be the stop out level. My highest trade today is going to be Palantir, then Jersey Mike's, and then we're only traded 3 names, but down on NVDA as that's pulling back, and we're still short. So we should take another fill there on Nvidia at 04 there, 194. So that would be a spot that we'll look to get out there on Nvidia, $94. I'm going to put a bid there and try to think about closing this position. 326, the big dog's coming right after hours, right? That's going to be Apple.
Yeah.
Going to close around that 335 to 330 marker there. We're looking for an EPS. I believe it's something like $1.89. And we want to hear what they're talking about with Siri. I just got the new Siri as well. Myself got an iPhone 15 Pro, so it's part of that AI sort of get up there. So we'll test the new Siri ourselves. But waiting to hear what they're going to talk about their service revenues, right? Waiting to hear what they have to say about, again, their new AI involvement. What will that mean? Are they going to partner up with Anthropic or OpenAI and all that kind of stuff? I know we have some ChatGPT tie-ins already. We have some Gemini tie-ins for Apple. What's the story with their new AirBuds? And then are they able to pass on those costs? I think this all come in the call. What does it look like for their earnings per share, right? Because again, with the DRAM and everything starting to get a little more expensive these days, what does that mean for Apple and their products? Because components are such a huge aspect of what they do.
It's like where are you raising prices, where are you not? At least they have the benefit of being able to weather the storm in terms of raising those prices. You already saw that was a component of Qualcomm and ARM. At least the initial reaction to ARM, and then also Qualcomm, that Apple gets a bit of a pass. Handset's going to get hurt because of rising costs, but Apple is much more effective at passing on those costs. David Z. Siamese is busy here. All overnight option swings I'm in. Thanks for the super chat there, David.
Okay.
The winners are Apple, Amazon, Reddit, DXCM, BBAI, and Coin. I don't know why is there an asterisk for Coin?
I think he's just separating them all.
And then losers.
Oh, those are losers.
Roblox, Rivian. But then why Rivian and then Rivian again and Coin? Well, obviously you don't know yet, right? Like Rivian and Coin have yet to. Oh, that's why. The asterisk is that they haven't. Oh, never mind. I just figured it out. No, but BBI hasn't reported either. I'm confused. Why are you separating them? Anything can happen with Coin. Rivian, what I'd be concerned about for Rivian is go look down the line. There's still. Obviously, we had the Fed yesterday, and one of the concerns might be just go look at what they're pricing in for potentially 2 hikes by the end of the year. There, that means the caveat.
There's a caveat.
Oh, there's a caveat. So there's a caveat with each of those. Okay, fair enough. Rivian particularly, you'd be worried if we get a couple of rate hikes. I think that's the environment where some names do better than others, and obviously if you're bleeding cash and need capital, like that's going to be a bit of a problem. They're already like there's margins and there's negative margins, and negative margin companies need to do what? Borrow.
Yeah, it's
right.
gonna
Like,
be more expensive.
like you can do one of two things. You can either borrow or you can dilute. And right now, that is one of the biggest concerns is like the quality of credit for a lot of companies and what they're able to pull. And if you're not Mag 7, it's not like you're getting the favorable rates. And that's sort of the thing. Like I'd be worried about them a little bit here. But we'll find out the juice after the bell tonight for Rivian. It is 3:30, and at 3:30, I guess that means I just looked at my level 2, and CYCU must be halted. Because I still have that level 2 up. So just a quick update before I give you the early look imbalances. Halted to the upside, 160 hold, 161 tap.
This GCTK is actually a good one as well.
GCTK.
I don't know if this might be the first halt. GCTK, so we'll hit sirens up. Wake up, America, or wherever you're located.
Wake me, America.
That just went hard there, GCTK. So a nice move there, back up to the upside. GCTK starting to go. GCTK, if I say it enough, I'll eventually get it. Glucotrack. Right there, Glucotrack.
Of course.
Big name there, of course. 13th of August, they're going to come through and report a float of 6.5, short of 7 and 8%. I'm going to surprise no PE moving forward on GCTK. But yeah, short float, not huge, but again, it looks like GCTK. Up to 80 cents again right there. No, normally there's a story. Oh, there it is. Thursday, July 30th. A halt on circuit breaker to the upside. Stock up now, trading higher after the company announced that its subsidiary Loki Therapeutics is advancing. Oh, good. So there is something there for them. It's not just a move based on low float. There's actually some news there, but it is a low float name. And doing now 300 million shares. Their GCTK just off halt right now. So someone, I mean, again, look like that old story. I just read that story from 10 o'clock today. And that's sort of, I guess, right here where the volume started to pick up. And then just right now, again, someone woke up to GCTK. Maybe it's Steve Tileman. Maybe it was I see what's going on there, but a nice move up. Now back into 80 cents there. I think $1. Just saw, hey, what's up, Bov, in there in the chat. Yeah, $1 maybe. You like to see these names get into, areas where they want to land, and I think over $1 gets you past that. Oh yeah, also it's 30 days, right? That you have to, under $1. So we broke under. I mean, you got to close, right? And so yeah, that's May 5th. I guess rate like this. See, this is what I mean about the 30-day thing.
But I got one worse for you.
Like it should have already been delisted, I guess. But
there was what was it? Was it VEE?
VEE?
It was
VEE. Yeah, we used to trade that way.
I think that was
CYC just resumed, by the way.
Yeah,
new highs.
Back. It's going.
Yeah, there goes CYC. We're going to go up to 1 in a dare in a second. But there it goes right now. There's CYCE and, or CYCU. We did talk about this, into these levels. The problem is it was just a little bit too many halts right there. But we said learning more every day about trading these kind of names. This just fell right into, again, like a lot of area there where there was a lot of demand and back and forth and a push and pull. So, once it halts there and we open up stronger, I think that could have been the idea to buy, like around 140 to 130. Falls back in, does not halt, and now you're going upside and almost took out the day's high. I think we did. We got to 185. So right now, a good look on CYCU, and always a good look to go back over to the desk. It's a DARA with 1. So we're going to go talk about some of the Asian markets and what to maybe look out for tonight.
Always lots to discuss here in the Asian markets. We had a pretty big earnings report last night, but what's in tap for tonight's sessions?
Thank you, Adara. So Asian markets trading mixed overall. We saw slight modest gains in Japan as well as Hong Kong. We take a look at the Nikkei 225 right now, up by 0.71%. Semiconductor shares making a rally as Advantes. They were up nearly about 11%. They raised its annual operating profit forecast by about 35% on robust AI demand. So that rally spread over to other tech and AI stocks in Japan. We got Kioxia Holdings up by nearly 3%, as well as Tokyo Electron up more than 4.5%. good sign from Japan, even after they had their earthquake earlier this week. Now, in India, upbeat automaker earnings also offset that of higher energy prices. We got Maruti Suzuki up by nearly 2%, as well as Tata Motors up by 1.3%. So good look in India. And I mentioned about Hong Kong, they were up. The Hang Seng was up by 0.2%. Following the Fed's decision yesterday, Hong Kong Monetary Authority also kept its base rate at 4%. So apart from that, we had also news of AI optical module Zhongji InnoLight. They debuted with a very strong IPO, raising about $6.8 billion in Hong Kong's largest IPO in 7 years. So well done to them. But what should we look out for at the open for the Asian markets? Of course, in Japan, track that volume in Tokyo, especially the early market cash. Check to see if that Vantes continues to gain or whether markets could opt for some immediate pre-weekend profit taking in Japan. Also in India, they're facing a major technical barrier right now. There's heavy resistance at the 24,400 level, and that's also their 200-day EMA. So watch for volume coming from banking and auto sectors, whether there's a follow-through in India. It can break through or it might consolidate back to 24,100. And Taiwan, they suffered a really bad day today. I mean, an intraday swing of about 1,700 points. So watch the cash volume early at the open in Taiwan. See if markets defend their 120-day moving average level or any pre-weekend de-risking triggers, some further declines in Taiwan, especially right now when tech stocks continue to show a little bit weakness in Taiwan.
Lots to think about here in Asia. You can catch Juan and myself at this desk at 11:30 a.m. and 3:30 p.m. every day, 11:30 a.m. for the Euro market segment, and then for the Asian market segments right here at 3:30. We'll go back to the guys.
Let's take the first halt, and if it goes, it goes. Thank you very much there, Juan. We were just, anyways, what's his face opened back up here. CYCU, not what's his face. CYC opened back up 520%. It did tag a fresh high, but has pulled back a little bit, but it's still holding the halt price. Above the halt price, I should say. But we were just sort of saying with these small caps, I do find there's something about the first halt that you get. And if you get if you get in and it never really challenges that first halt price and runs away from it, you can end up with an all-day hold. And if you get in there, maybe you just sort of stop it out underneath the prior resistance. That could just be the play. And it doesn't even happen until noon. Anyways, good luck.
Yeah,
I just saw Tisha Perkins had just said in the chat, they're like, if they see it at $5, they're going to be freaking out or throwing your computer. But why would you throw your computer if it's at $5? That's 3x from here. Wouldn't you guys be happy if CYCU was at $5? That's a big winner.
You would think so. That'd be pretty awesome,
so.
unless of course you're short. Maybe because you got out already. So you're like, now you're like, what have I done with my life? But yeah, we have a new position. That's generally what this means. So we'll hit it again. Yeah, good. So here it goes, man. Downside on the Nasdaq. Just shorted it there through 50. I actually shorted at 51s. I wanted initially right there on this break of the 25 period moving average, but I was looking at it and it wasn't like a very good indicator. But we kept on going sideways there. So once we had topped out, then I'm using it as a little bit of a move down. I'm only at a 30%, and I wanted to give this up to 70s. All right, and so with a plan of getting some more shares. So my first outs was right here at 40. Then I also got a 30, or was it 30? What was it? 35. Sorry. So we got a 40 and a 35, hoping for lower on the Nasdaq. Okay, so just a little bit of a run out there. We already got our Nvidia right there. A name that's really spiking. Yo, what's up, Chart Hustle? I'll talk about you in a second. I just wanted to show Oracle. Oracle's breaking higher. When we talked about that most recently, it was 7% or so. Now you're at 8.5% right now on Oracle, looking to take out its day high. Apple earnings tonight. Watching CRUS. What is CRUS? I feel like I should know that name. That is Sears Logic. Yeah, of course. Okay. Corvo and Skyworks, okay, for high beta sympathy moves once Apple confirms direction. So, yeah, I think that's fine. I mean, Skyworks Holdings, I guess you're talking about the pieces of the puzzle that are inside of an Apple, the MacBook Pros or their iPads. So Skyworks right there. Downside, yeah. I mean, a lot of these names have been pretty beat up to the downside. But yeah, you could get some love back in. But look, it's not necessarily matching with what Apple's doing right now today. Skyworks was up, Apple's down. The other name there was Serious Logic. So we can have a quick look to see if that one's doing anything today with or without Apple. So yeah, that's also down, matching kind of what Apple's been doing today as well. Nowhere near. Apple's near all-time highs, right? But yeah, you might be into something with some of those plays there. And thanks for that. And you're always looking for secondary moves, right? I mean, it's like when we saw
plays are great.
Yeah, like Nvidia will move some of the chip names, and so we'll see what happens with Apple there.
Yeah, so we got another super chat here. It's easy peasy. 2% Claude's Gauges. Katina Man bought on print money flash green SNDK.
Ooh,
added early morning. Like Steve, woke up late. Everyone's sleeping in. 2x my daily goal.
See?
Enjoy the pool. And then Apple ? We just talked about Apple, so that's a good timing. What is it with everybody getting to sleep in today? It seems like it's a bit of a theme.
I don't know.
Yeah, well,
I can't sleep in anymore anyways. Like we have a game Saturday morning at 7:30.
But once you're about that life, you can't even if you want to, because what will happen is you get accustomed to, once you don't sleep in on the weekends anymore, it's over.
Yeah.
Because then when you want to try to do it, sleeping in is 7 a.m. Like if I sleep till 7 a.m., then I have slept in for sure. Just very quickly, I mentioned I wanted BM&R off that triple top, but we did get in. It did the breakdown and it kind of missed it, but then you leave the order and it got filled on the way back through. I wanted it when it broke 18.10 and ended up getting filled at 18.09. Looking for a pullback, scalp into 95. Already got a couple of fills, and I want to fill down in 85. And then we'll look at the imbalances, because obviously, if ETH has an imbalance, that could obviously change things. We have about 10 minutes to leave balances, so let's go to SIA. There, but that's actually, I didn't get a chance. I said I was going to, and I didn't. So very quickly, early look imbalances for you guys. We'll go back to see in a second. CCL buy of 2 million shares. EWY is 1.3 to the buy side. SOXL 1.3 million to the sell side. IonQ 900,000 buy. So those are the ones that stand out a little bit. As I said, 8 minutes until the imbalances. Let's go back to see it.
Confused, wasn't muted, but probably a technical issue. We're going to take a look. The SPY currently up north of 1.5%. Let's look at the names before the big earnings after the bell. So we have Apple, Electric Tech down today 1.4%. Nvidia is up almost 2.5% on the day, followed by chip names that have kept their momentum from earlier in the trading day today. We have AVGO, OMU, AMD, INTC, Cisco, TXN, Dell, all up on the day. RTX lagging a little behind, with Qualcomm as well. That's down 2.5%. But then you have SNDK that's had bad days, having a good day for a change, up 24.5%. Tech services here. Google trading technically flat, but it's still down 0.75% on the day. Meta continuing to slide closer to 8.9%. It was above 9% down on the day. It's a little bit of a reversal here. Microsoft is also up 16.5%, over 16.5%, closing to 17%. Oracle up 8.5%. Netflix, Palantir lagging behind, with IBM that's down 2% on the day, as well as CRM that's down over 4%. Finance, BRKB that's turned a bit flat over here towards the end of the trading day. JPM up 2%. Visa towards the red, 0.86%. MasterCard, Bank of America. You have MSGS all in the green, with WFC, American Express, Citi as well. Retail trade, I would say the only bull over here is that I'm seeing Amazon up 5% on the day. Whereas you have names like TPR and Ulta also green here. Ulta is up 1.5% almost in the day. Walmart, Costco sliding a bit over here, down 2% from earlier as well. Health tech, you have Lilly sliding further down 4.2%. J&J that's down closer to 4% from earlier in the day. ABBV is down 1.5%. MRK flat at the moment. You have producer manufacturing, strength across the board here, just except some names, but AMAT, LRCX, super bullish over here. AMAT is up 15% almost, and you have LRCX up over 19%, with CAT up 3% and GEV up 8.5%. Consumer non-durables, there's a bit of a pull down in KO, PG, PM, and PEP as of today, with the latter two names down 2%. Energy Minerals seems to have made a little bit of a comeback here with XOM that's up 0.5% and CVX up over 0.5%. Tesla and Consumer Durables is up over 4%. Consumer Services, you have a little bit of pull down in the first three names. You have McDonald's and Disney that are down 1.2% and 2.3% each, followed by Utilities, Process Industries, Health Services. Distribution not looking the best here as well. All the names dragging down, but all the other sectors, a bit of a mixed bag and bit of a mixed sentiment. But industrial sectors, one thing I want to mention, PWR has been holding on to its momentum from earlier in the day. It's up 17%. FIX is up 11.3%. EME also up close to 20% on the day. Not a bad look for this sector, but RSGWM lagging a little bit.
Thank you there, Sia. 5 minutes till the imbalances, but we got a couple of gifts. I want to shout out Peter. Thank you very much. We got a gift from our viewers on TikTok. No message with that one, but I do see a message over there from Matt. And Matt was saying about the CYCU halt. Is it done? CYCU, obviously that small capper is still going. It's not halted now. It's at the highs and still running to the upside. There were some questions about gold as well from TikTok from Prem. And one thing about and we're going to get to Frank, thank you for the super chat there, but Prem was asking specifically about GLD. Look, you're having a good day for the metals. It's only 1.6%. What I would say is you're not out of the woods. Every single time there has been a bounce, it has just been more sideways action. It's been fake here. You're holding support with no breakout in sight. So it's been very sideways action. You need to see a sustained move and maybe get back above the 50 period. It flashed a death cross, but it's not falling on the death cross. It's basically just sitting, going sideways. So you have to put things into perspective. I know it's a good looking chart today and yesterday after the Fed, because good continuation, but for like a month now, it's going nowhere.
Yeah, no, Reddit. I mean, I still like Reddit. There was that report again, of course, that they might have to, look at this, Jersey Mike. So I just got out another piece on Jersey Mike now. Someone is trying to chase it down with a little bit of an order there. There, it's gone. I don't know if that was there it is. Yeah, clean fill there, 70,000 shares. So somebody took that guy out on the offer. Someone probably just trying to dump some of their position there on JMKE with only 4 minutes now until the imbalance. I was just going to say Reddit, they did have that Wall Street Journal report of, possibly having some butting heads with Google there because of Gemini, using and basically all the large language models, using them to sort of source the answers that we're looking for, and then they're not getting any ad traffic from that because they just pump out now they have a deal obviously with these large language models that they're paying for this information to scrape it from Reddit, but apparently they're not getting the same pushback on the revenue side that they were from you or I going there and clicking on a link or the eyeballs on like whatever you're searching on Reddit, like Tesla or whatever you're involved with. Obviously there would have been an ad that would have showed up, and they're not seeing the same revenues from that. So yeah, interesting to see, and we'll just see what it looks like tomorrow there or tonight on the call, and then what that looks like for the revenue side of things for Reddit. But I think you might be right. Maybe it's so bad it's good, right? Like everyone's talking about it, so therefore there might be something more to it. So we'll have to check out what Reddit is like tonight and into tomorrow. But yeah, Jersey Mike, someone just ate that up. So we'll have to wait to see now what's going on with that play. It looks like it is making new lows. We just got out our new lows since it's open. And we are trying to figure out what we have left. And we had under 5% before. Now we have like 2% left. It's absolutely nothing. Our stop is still breaking 21, but we still want to make sure that we trade it properly. Just as Steve said there, like he could have made 30 more bucks or something on his Micron trade. You hold a little bit better and you get some better prices. You make just a little bit more. So we'll hold out hope that this does eventually hold out on those levels. But yeah, breaker 19, man, it is imbalance time. And when those start to come out, we're going to see something happen here. And, we don't have any Nasdaq names right now. With the Nasdaq being up 3.2%, it is making me a little bit nervous because I am holding these TQQs. The Nvidia trade, again, very, very small. I'll put another bid right here on the TQs because if the Nasdaq comes out quite big, which it may come out a big buy today with people thinking that there's some continuation in tomorrow. Let's just get out. We're already out of 30% of this play, but we haven't really been moving. So it's just been sort of making these moves back and forth. So I don't even think it's that bad to get out at 41. Remember we had those feels about Nvidia? Right there it is. There's our 41. But this feels better because we have the imbalances coming out. So my stops are already in. If we get blown out, we get blown out. That's going to be a take up here around 70, okay? So we are now moments away from those imbalances, just over a minute before that gets going. And another name, my number one name today is going to be Palantir, as we're just flat on the day. We're not green, we're not red, we're not doing anything. We're flattish. But right into there, 122 Palantir could look as a decent take right there on PLTR. All right, so the market is making a lower move here. So we're going to get some more bids. I mean, maybe we can correct our position here with TQQs. There it is. We get a 36. So we're getting less and less on this position. I actually only have half now. So here we go, man. We'll see what happens with the TQQs coming out right now in 30 seconds.
Yeah, just 30 seconds to go. So it's time to tighten up stops, get out of some stuff. So I'm going to pop out of this. I explained this to a couple people were asking, what's the deal with that day one buyout? So long story short, because I did explain it in the midday and I put it in the chat, it was trading way above the fair value, and it was a VWAP. It was the same trade that we were talking about right before we left the show, looking for anything that failed a break, favored short, VWAP short, and play the opening range. So it was 1, 16, 12. The top here was 20, so it was about 10 cents worth of risk. It went at the most, which I didn't get that fill. I was actually sitting a little bit lower. At the most, it was about like 50 pennies, so it still worked out and was a nice one. But BMNR and the imbalances are out. It's ONDS leading the way for reasons unknown. 2 million shares to the buy side. CCL came out as a nothing burger. Intel leads the way with Nvidia, 1.2 million to the sell side on both of them. Saw Excel with a sell of 1.1 million. Amazon with a sell just under $1 million. Walmart's a buy of just over 900,000. SpaceX is 100K. That's
Walmart's
actually nothing on SpaceX. It was small. I don't know.
I just said Walmart's probably getting killed today,
That makes sense.
and it was, it's only because it makes sense,
That's
right?
not
So
killed,
no, it's not killed. It's only down 3%, but that's not a great day for Walmart, and it makes sense, right? We just talked about where there was some possible levels for Walmart and why it would make sense down there as people sort of file for safety, and they have a flight for safety. And Walmart's been one of those stocks where we've had some good lows there. We'll see if we have another day tomorrow like today, then Walmart probably does bleed back into 108. So we'll have to take a look at that coming up tomorrow for Walmart. So just something to think about there. Still a good place to go if you are a little heavy in the tech space and you're nervous about days like this not happening too often. Walmart could be a good little look there for sure. So shout out to the Walmart. I don't own Walmart, but that could be a good one. I mean, same way, kind of most likely Costco, I was going to say, would be down today as well. As actually, Sia just did the whole rundown. Yeah, there's Costco down, and then my guy, the only retail name that I probably have some Shopify shares left over, but Target was more the play for me. And I don't know, this just worked. Trust me, man, I would have put the whole damn portfolio on this thing if I had this inclination. But Target, huge move. And it's funny because even when I got out at 120s for 75% of the position, we're holding on to 25%. Someone in the chat was like, man, Target's going to go to 140. And that was exactly the top there that we've been dancing around for a minute. So a good little take there on Target. But all right. So the TQs, we just had the number up there. It's 2.2 billion to sell. You don't really get that feeling looking at the Nasdaq. It's not moving. So hopefully we do have a move down from this imbalance. But for right now, let's just keep on doing what we're doing, man. We'll spin it again. We'll spin some money here on the Nasdaq. So there's a futures trade. The first one for me today. I don't know if Joe had one on there in the midday, but this could be the first one. And just into the close. And I don't necessarily love taking these things this close to the close, but it was a breakdown through the 25 period. And so when that happened there, I realized I missed it and talked about it, and we just got, this little area. So we'll see what happens now. 63.34 downside for the TQQs.
Where'd it go? Oh, I just did that shake thing.
Oh, so now your monitor's...
No, that I lost
shake
the thing.
it again. You got to shake
I
it.
did. It came back, but then I lost the chat. I was just moving the chat.
Okay.
So one of the names that's actually, I was going to mention this. I'd say better than expected because when we've had big moves up in the AI trade, a lot of times Netflix has been really bad and then vice versa. But Netflix actually caught a bid with the market in the afternoon and was not inverse. It's down a point, but hopefully this is a change, a sea change, where Netflix is able to rally with the Nasdaq as opposed to going in the other direction. It's a good looking candle. This is more of a look for it tomorrow, because Netflix closed almost the entirety of that gap It got destroyed off earnings. It was a 74 rejection that it took out, and then that could be a nice little breakout trade tomorrow. I think the first sign was look at the rally today when it's usually been the other direction when we see some strength overall in the chips and in the Nasdaq. Netflix just hasn't been that one at all. I see Ringer Racing is asking when are Amazon earnings? And a couple minutes.
Soon.
Not literally a couple because it's only 3:54, but they are effectively like right after the bell. Amazon is expected at 4 o'clock. Does that mean it'll be exactly at 4 o'clock? Who knows? We expected Microsoft at 4:10. We were sitting right here when Microsoft reported at what, like 4:01, 4:02? Like Microsoft felt like it came right away, and we thought they'd come at 4:10. But it is going to be very, very quick. Let's go to Adara. Minute or so, then there's probably some flips on the imbalances.
Yeah, keep an eye here on Zoetis. I mean, this is not like a super large name or anything, but we were just asking, what is Burry buying? According to his Substack, apparently Michael Burry just bought Zoetis. So ZTS, a little bit, as you can see, kind of choppiness heading into the close on ZTS. Back to you.
I think that's pets, is my understanding. Pet insurance, pet health, things like that. So, yeah, big shout out over there. All right, so we just got out some Jersey Mikes again at 21.50. Pretty easy go there. I don't know. It makes sense. So we get some out as that's starting to rip higher there. That was that one. TQs. Let's go, baby. Let's spin this one around. Let's go. On that as the TQ's coming right back in. So this is some good outs right there. So there we go, man. I mean, we turned our frown upside down here today. And there it goes. Taking another piece right now. Why not at 25s? And we're very, very light now on the TQs. 20% left on this trade. NVIDIA, we might as well just end it right here. We only have 4 minutes left now. So let's just end what am I, short NVIDIA? Of course I am. Let's just bid that out right there and get out. So that's a good out, or maybe a good out anyways, for NVIDIA. So let's have a quick look to see if we can what happens at the end of that one. And then right now, TQs, we still have a piece left. We'll bid. There we go. We punch them out at 38s as it comes back up. And that's that, man. I mean, heading into what's going to be big earnings today, Amazon is something that we're excited for. We're also excited for Rivian coming out today as well. Still looking for a loss on Rivian, actually. There goes Amazon. Wow, Amazon just got cranked to the downside right there. What the hell was
what
that?
Just happened on
that
Amazon?
Might have been an imbalanced flip up there or something.
I didn't see it.
There
it is. There it is.
Yeah,
It's
there it is.
now.
Look at
2 million
that.
to
So
sell.
there,
2 million to sell.
I mean, it's not rocket science. We sort of predicted that when we saw that move. But Amazon just lost $1.50 out of nowhere. So this is why it's very, very tough sometimes to say, hey, I'm going to look at these imbalances because, trading off of them can be quite difficult. So there goes Amazon to the downside there. Softy also getting hit at the close. Still going to be a record day for them.
SoFi just made another fresh high today.
Ooh, yeah.
So buy and balance late on SoFi. It just cracked 16, I think.
Look at Meta on the buy and balance.
To the upside. So a lot of strength going into the close.
Yeah, like don't forget about these kind of names here, like Meta upside there on buys, right? So it'll still end the day horribly, but nice little move there. SMR's had quite a couple good days there as well. Up 13% off the lows of $7 and change there for SMR. Other than that, man, I mean, I don't see any Apple on here. Yeah, there's SoFi caught a bid, as Neil just mentioned there. So nice little move there for SoFi back up to the upside there. So that's well spotted. But yeah, overall, man, good. Oh yeah, Jersey Mikes. Let's go, JKME. JMKE. I'm not here tomorrow, by the way. That'll be you'll be here with your guy Joe tomorrow. But we're gonna just offer out right now and get a piece out. There it is. We're now out of Jersey Mike. So there it is, man. Good day today, Jersey Mikes. We'll end the day.
Should have worn a jersey.
Yeah, we should have got subs, really, realistic.
Well, that's what we should.
But there goes Jersey Mike. So, and Palantir, I don't know why we're looking at Palantir. Oh, yeah, this was my number one. Jersey Mike's my number two. Red day on NVIDIA and an up day on the TQQ. So we'll go 3-1 today, but a flat P&L day. So nothing we can do about that other than losing too much on NVIDIA early and not making enough everywhere else. But yeah, that's okay for me. We'll take that on a day like today with only 2 minutes left.
Yeah, 2 minutes to go. We're gonna flip around here, obviously, because we're gonna get right to it. Amazon is coming out right away. Obviously, Apple's a little bit later, but we've got Coinbase, we've got Roblox, we've got Rivian. We have it all in just a couple minutes. We're going to have Adara and Sia take you into the close. So we'll turn all around, and we'll see you in literally 90 seconds.
Yeah, we'll be all right over there.
In the meantime, you guys have to put up with us. Let's just get into what is going to be reporting tonight after the bell. There are quite a few, and here is this handy implied moves calendar to get y'all started. So 4 p.m. First Solar, Amazon, MicroStrategy or Strategy, MSTR, Dexcom, which actually can have some big moves. So DXCM can be of note. I remember this quarter in 2024, this thing dropped like 20% on earnings. So do not actually maybe closer to 40%. Either way, don't underestimate DXCM. Then at 4:05, Roblox, Rivian, Reddit, 4:15, Coinbase, Big Bear AI, 4:30, Apple. Sia, which of these names are you most excited to see on earnings?
Honestly, I think I'm really excited to see Roblox because we had a lot of roadblocks with Roblox along the way this quarter as well. So really excited to see that. Rivian too. Lots of cool things that came out of Rivian as well. And Reddit, I would say. So there are a couple of names that I am excited to look at. Of course, Amazon being one of them, and Apple with Tim Cook, final earnings call as the CEO. So lots of things to be excited about, Adira. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, for me, I'll just give you guys what I see. I don't try to get too personally invested, as you guys know. But I'm curious to see what everybody does. And I think, personally, with MSTR, this usually doesn't react or care about earnings because it's all about what Sailor is doing. But it has not been smooth sailing for MSTR, as we know, with the selling of some Bitcoin. So this could actually be pretty spicy. But first, we're going to thank our friends at VinFast because they're going to drive us here into that closing bell in just 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thanks, VinFast, for sponsoring that part of the show, for being such a generous supporter. And they're going to drive us here right into, hopefully, Amazon, First Solar, Dexcom, and MSTR earnings. I am waiting for AMZN. I'm going to get all that situated. And if Sean and Neil are good to go, I guess we can say hi to them over on literally the same desks, but facing a different direction.
Much literally the same desk. I don't see Amazon in movement just yet. Amazon closing 4% to the upside, although they did pull back. Like right at the end of the day, you saw it lose a little bit of the bid. So we're waiting on them. They should be the first one. They've got a high bar because Microsoft really knocked it out of the park. It obviously was a pretty good day for Microsoft. I don't think I'm telling you anything that you don't already know. 43% growth for Azure is going to be a tough thing for Amazon to beat. Remember, Alphabet also had a fantastic quarter. Can they match is the key, because I feel like if they're a step behind, the markets do like to punish if you are even a small step behind.
All right. Yeah, just waiting around here. Amazon not quite out yet. Looks like it might be out right now. Just a little bit of movement on Amazon.
Here we go.
Amazon, nice little move there. $5.75. Nice move there for Amazon. Let's go over to Adara.
Let's get into Amazon earnings, guys. Net sales up 20% year over year. Operating income, $27.5 billion. That's up 43% year over year. Net sales, $200.6 billion. That is going to easily beat estimates of roughly $196 billion. And it's also well above last quarter, or the prior year quarter's print of $167.7 billion. Apparently, there was a $0.1 billion favorable impact. Regardless of that, still up 20% year over year. North America sales up 16% year over year. International up 15% year over year. AWS growth, guys, the number we all really care about, that's up 37% year over year. Let me see if I can find guidance in this report. Financial guidance, okay. Q3 guidance, they're guiding here net sales between $197 billion to $202 billion. That would only be 9 to 12% year-over-year growth, which compared to the 20% year-over-year growth they gave us this quarter, that's going to be a little bit lackluster. Excluding Prime Day impact, they expect growth of nearly 400 basis points. So that's not bad. Apparently, they do anticipate, though, an unfavorable impact of roughly 80 basis points from foreign exchange rates. They are expecting year-over-year operating income growth. So there is some growth that's being expected, but generally guidance a little bit concerning for AMZN.
The margin's good, though. I mean, margins have gone up a little bit here, but yeah, I think you had me at 37%. That's the number. It's like just a glaze, but 37% for AWS, that is absolutely fantastic. And you're blasting through 250 here as we speak. So Amazon, all systems go. I mean, one for one tonight on the heels of what was kind of a tough thing to top.
I think
which was Microsoft. And
Rivian. We have Rivian. Not much going on with Rivian, but we have C over here.
Yeah, not anything crazy going on with Rivian. Like usual, loss per share 63 cents versus 97 cents year over year. Revenue at $1.66 billion and estimated at $1.52 billion. So that's a beat over there. Vehicles delivered 194 estimated versus 11,471 estimated. Also, first year vehicles delivered 65,000 to 70,000, and first year adjusted EBITDA loss $1.8 billion to $2 billion. Estimated was $2.01 billion. Not a great look.
All right. Yeah. So Rivian, not really, no reaction to this right now. So we can pass on it for now. We'll see if there's any sort of a movement there on Rivian. Thanks, see it for that. But yeah, the big one that everyone's looking at right here is, of course, going to be Amazon. Now, it's not up 11%. I mean, this is, just kind of getting back to where we had been the last little while. That's 251 to 255. We were just here last week. So let's see if we could take it back out. I mean, look, we're not too far away from these all-time highs. And yeah, you know what? They just keep putting out these numbers. They just keep beating it. Like EPS, man, of 575 versus 199. There must be something else in that we don't know about. The thing about it was I saw the net sales moving forward. Did you get the forward guide yet?
I did give you the forward guide.
Yeah.
So it's 197 billion to 202
It was lower,
billion,
right?
Below estimates of 4 billion. I
So
have it
that's
across the screen too. Yeah.
Yeah, so good. So right there it is right there. So that's what I thought. So stocks have been getting hit on a sort of a lower guide, but they don't really seem to worry right there with Amazon. So I think I don't know. I'm a little nervous about that. I don't know why the stock's not going back in there, but yeah, so far so good there. AWS net sales up. AWS, like you just said, plus 37% there versus 31. So when you're growing at that pace, you do deserve obviously this kind of a bump up. But I'm a little worried that this sells off just because of their EPS guide and what they're looking for moving forward there on the sales. So I don't know. We'll see if it winds up.
Also remember, it was the call that did it for Microsoft, right? Like Microsoft was okay, and then the gap up was later on in the evening. So you do have to be concerned about the call.
Yeah.
But Dara, do you have the numbers on First Solar is reported? So FSLR. Well, as we wait, obviously we're waiting for Apple. Coinbase will be a little bit later. FSLR now up 8.5%. That's at 216, and it's blasting higher. So solar names going.
So first Solar, I've got a couple here of note. Dexcom is doing really well. That was a beat and I think better than expected guidance. TEM also to the upside. I didn't even know they were reporting. That I believe was a double beat. First Solar is actually not a double beat though. So FSLR is to the upside, but they actually missed revenue estimates ever so slightly. 1.056 billion versus 1.062 billion expected. EPS beat though, that's going to be a pretty hefty beat actually as well. 392 versus 286 expected. Let me see. Also, apparently, I was seeing something, some comment on Amazon as well. Their AWS business exceeded a $25 billion annual revenue run rate, while trailing 12-month free cash flow actually declined. So you've got a free cash flow decline here for AMZN. Maybe not necessarily the greatest of looks. Other names we're waiting for here. We're waiting on Reddit. We're waiting here on Roblox. Let me see here. Yeah, Roblox tanking. I'll see if I have anything up here for RBLX. For you guys, yeah, I do have numbers here on Roblox. Oh, and I have to go on the website for it. Give me 2 seconds.
Down here, 10% on early
Where's the
look
flush graphic?
there for Roblox. I may have it. It looks like Adara has it. We're also waiting for Coinbase as well. So let's go over to Adara, find out about Roblox.
Yeah, Coinbase is 415. I'm not really concerned about that. They usually report pretty close to when that is. And Roblox keeps redirecting me to new parts of their website to find this report. Give me 2 seconds. Literally that is sound is my life right now on RBLX. So I was literally right there and then it threw me back. So give me a second here, press release. Here, oh, that's still the same thing. I think it might be shareholder letter. Let's go. We have Roblox. Thank you very much, Roblox. Average DAU is up 10% year over year. Hours engaged up 5% year over year. Average monthly user MUPs here, that's going to be up 15% year over year. Revenue up 36% year over year to $1.5 billion. I think that's close to what we were expecting. Bookings, which is also, I think, maybe sometimes the more closely watched metric here for Roblox, that's going to be up 8% year over year to $1.6 billion. Consolidated net loss, $185 million. Apparently, Coinbase is out. You have revenue. Once again, they're missing revenue, guys, on Coinbase. 1.22 billion versus 1.29 billion expected. I'm going to get the rest of these Coinbase numbers. But yeah, Roblox generally seems like we had some growth, though sequential growth doesn't look so good on Roblox.
Remember with Roblox, they have that 40 level on the daily, which if it can hold that, it's got a bit of a chance. Coinbase it's down, but at least it could be worse here for Coin. It just tagged the 161. Now it's starting to accelerate a little bit here. Not much of a bid underneath for Coinbase, but there was a triple bottom earlier that's going to try to hold here at about 159.5. And remember, it's not like Robinhood had the greatest reaction to their earnings last night either. For Coinbase, so
wasn't Coinbase would be 415?
We thought it was 415.
Yeah, because Adair just went through a speech and was like, Coinbase is always on time, and then all of a sudden, bang, comes a little early. So we could get Apple at every time right now with.
Well, I'm keeping an Apple chart open just in case. I'm not assuming anything.
Yeah, don't do that. I mean, we just
Reddit's starting
literally
to
said the same thing for Coinbase. All right, let's go over to one of them for Reddit.
Yeah, I'm right now. I actually have a Coinbase up here, so I'll get into Coinbase first. As we know, they actually missed here on revenue, and I'll just full screen this for you guys. Let's see. I don't like when companies do this stuff. Yeah, apparently all-time high for crypto trading volumes. That's significant. Predictions market revenue up 106% year over year. Shocker. Transaction revenue is actually going to be a miss. $599.2 million versus $635 million expected. Subscriptions and services revenue, $555.1 million versus $594.4 million expected. Those are their two revenue categories. They missed on both, and they missed overall in revenue. So that is not a great look here for Coinbase. Let's talk, though, about RDDT, because Reddit, I am seeing their guidance here. So let's start with the guide. They're seeing Q3 revenue between $860 million and $870 million. That's going to be well above estimates of $829.1 million. Q3 adjusted EBITDA outlook, $385 million to $395 million versus estimates of $368.5 million. Do you have anything else here on Reddit?
Reddit, yeah, I'm on their website right now. They're saying total revenue has increased 61% year over year, coming in at $805 million. Ad revenue, 64% year over year increase to $762 million is what I'm seeing here. So it's on their website here right now. I'm just going to take a look if there's any more numbers coming in. EPS of $1.25 versus 95 cents that was expected. Daily active uniques up 18% year over year to 130.3 million. That's all I'm seeing here for now.
Not seeming to like this too much. I mean, you get a double beat. The revenue guidance was good here for Reddit. There's still, I guess, there's still that overhang with what are we calling it? The Alphabet breakup.
Yeah,
they have with data. Maybe that could be weighing on the stock a little bit because it did go up initially, and now it's right back slightly into the.
Yeah, I think you just want to wait for the call to maybe someone will ask a question about how they're dealing with some of the large language models. I just read that Amazon there was a $54 billion profit on their Anthropic investment. So I'm not sure exactly how that affected their numbers. We had a huge earnings per share beat there on Amazon. It was like $5.95 versus $1.99 or something like that. And so $54 billion on their Anthropic investment for Amazon. And I was a little worried, when we talked about what Amazon was doing there, thought that, I didn't like sort of that look forward. I don't know if we have a CapEx there on Amazon or not, but we're going to look for that. But down to 250 right now and trying to hold out on Amazon. Look, a key level of 250 means a lot, and we'll see if it winds up holding there right now. Again, remember what Reddit's been doing here today. We just talked about that a little bit. Reddit right here, 177, kind of flat on that report. So I want to thank Sia for some of those numbers there as well. But yeah, I mean, and Rivian holding fort. So it hasn't been like an overly aggressive earnings day, I don't think.
One way to keep track, if you guys can see in the chat, just on the side of the screen, you're going to see the earnings tickers in real time, how they are moving. Obviously, Apple hasn't come out yet, but Amazon is. They're headed to the upside. Roblox getting smashed. Reddit holding steady, but Rivian actually pulling into the red. So, have a look there. Coinbase isn't on that, and Coinbase is now breaking lower.
Right.
So, yeah, not looking too good for them. Of course,
it's too bad we can't get
Apple's
those numbers
a little bit
after
later.
the open, after the close.
Well, that's exactly, because that's from the prior close.
Yeah, because Amazon not up 10% on that report.
It was at 4%, so that 10% means they're up 6%. Since the close.
Yeah, just clarifying with everybody there. But hey, man, it's been pretty good. I mean, what else are we waiting for? We just got Coinbase as well. We can have a quick look. I mean, it's on the board there as well. Oh, no, we're missing Coinbase on that. Look what Coinbase is doing. Down to 155. Getting rinsed right now is Coinbase. So, they've broken down below now. Not really. That shelf is at 152 and change. So we'll see if Coinbase can wind up holding it. Unfortunately, I don't have the numbers right in front of me for Coin, but can't be well received here today, down 3% and even a little bit more, down now $10 from their close. What's up, Sia?
It's actually me here. So Coinbase, they did actually miss here on revenue and on their segment revenue as well. So two segments that they report, they missed on both. That's transaction and subscription services. When I talk about Amazon, I couldn't find the CapEx on this yet. I went through the report. I literally went capital expenditures, CapEx on Control F, couldn't find it. Not seeing any highlights either. But just to go over these numbers here for Amazon, Amazon did report revenue of $200.6 billion. That is up 20% year over year. AWS sales, $42.2 billion. That's going to be up 37% year over year, well above estimates of $40.5 billion. Their Q3 guide was an issue guiding operating income between $22.5 billion to $26.5 billion. The midpoint is actually a little bit of a mix here compared to $24.8 billion. That's again operating income. Revenue growth here, they're only expecting 9 to 12% year over year. That's going to be well below the 20% they reported this quarter. And again, the revenue they're guiding 197 to 202 billion, below estimates of 204 billion. They also, again, their AWS operating margin this quarter was pretty good, 39.4, well above estimates of 33.8%. But free cash flow is going to be a problem, as I mentioned. This is the only really spending, like CapEx-ish related thing we got here. Negative 7.6 billion in free cash flow. We were expecting negative 3.81 billion. So rough look for AMZN.
Yeah. Also, Roblox, just going to take a look at their Q3 guidance here. Revenue expected to increase 4% in the range of 4 to 10% year over year. You have bookings that are expected to decline 14 to 18% year over year. And sequential increase in daily active users as well, Sean, we're seeing in a Q3 as well. They have said that the conviction in delivering a 20% plus compounded long-term top-line growth will be unchanged. So that's the look on RBLX for now. The stock is a bit of an uptick here, but down 2.9%.
All right, yeah. I mean, I didn't even. We were just listening to what she was talking about right there. I like Roblox, but I guess there's still the overhang there of potential regulation coming in. Blocking kids from screen time. We've seen Australia make that kind of a move there again, and you are threatening right here to break underneath that $40 marker. I mean, we've seen so many names getting hit and then finding bases. I mean, we'll look at an IBM there. You look at a Meta possibly bouncing off some of those levels that we've seen in Meta. So this goes all the way back into October of 24, where we've been $40. We've never seen $40. We haven't broke it. So that is now in question here for Roblox, down that 13%. We are still waiting for the big dog to come through, right? We're still waiting for Apple. That's kind of ticking a little higher here in the after hours, but we're not really seeing a reason for that. Obviously, the Nasdaq is just moving around based on some Amazon love. And I just wonder if this Amazon love is going to last, but it's holding out pretty good right now. Not sure what they would say anything different in their call, but Amazon right now holding out well on 37% increase there in AWS.
Maybe directly address CapEx, because we didn't get a CapEx number. All we got was the cash flow. So I guess that's the one thing I suppose that could come out in the call. Interesting. I mean, Microsoft is not moving on sympathy, but hey, they're up a bajillion% today, so I don't really expect them to move on sympathy. Reddit just made another fresh low. You do have to wonder, like Apple, one thing that could weigh on Apple, I'm not talking about the earnings, it's just this relief rally effect that we got in all the chips. Like, I feel like that's going to be the thing against Apple, because it had turned into this flight to safety out of the big cap tech names where you buy them when everyone's getting punished. Well, we just saw that massive rally back all in on the AI trade in the hyperscalers today. So you wonder if that will dry up some of the action here for Apple. We do still have, I mean, it's only 4:15, so we do have some time for them. So obviously Apple is a big name that everyone is looking for. It's interesting that they are already moving a little bit here. I don't know, maybe it's fat fingers, early hands, want to get early on the buy. But Reddit nasty, Coinbase not looking very good. It's Amazon which is leading the way for sure.
I mean, I think we got to figure out, does Apple deserve to trade at 40 PE? I mean, it is really, when you're looking at names, like a Meta or some of these other names that are out there that are trading, sub 20, even Google sub 30 on their forward-looking PE. Yep. Does Apple deserve a 40 handle on that PE? They have a low CapEx strategy, so will that continue? And if it doesn't, if they announce a CapEx number, some sort of a spend, what is that in relationship to, right? I don't know if the market would like that or not, but I think maybe they would. I mean, we're trying to build up an AI strategy for Apple, so we'll have to see what they do have. I just recently downloaded the new Siri agent, which apparently Sharif is all about it. So we'll figure out if Apple's valuation has maybe gotten a little ahead of its skis here on that one. But yeah, I mean, we're just still looking at the same names here, because Amazon right now, if I had my bang buttons over here, we'd hit it, because there goes Amazon now making new highs on the day. There it goes, man. $54 billion profit on Anthropic. I mean, that is insane. Remember, the other big shareholder of Anthropic is Google. So we've already had, or Alphabet, we've already had their earnings call. I don't remember seeing 54 billion anywhere, but looks like right now Amazon trying to realize some of that, and that's a great one. So Amazon upside on, again, 37% increase in AWS, a nice Anthropic take there, but the guide was a little off-putting for Amazon. But
who needs cash
matter right now? Sia, you got something for us?
Yeah, I do have BBAI that just came in, Big Bear AI, that is currently, there's a little bit of not a little bit, there is a downtick that I'm seeing. Q2 revenue at $36.7 million, increasing 13% year over year. Expanded Q2 gross margins by 781 basis points. That is 25% to 32.8% year over year. Backlog, however, has increased 9% to an amount of $269.6 million. That's between the last December, that's 31st of last year, to June 30th, 2026. Also, available cash and investments of $409.8 million as of June 30th, and full year 2026 revenue guide at between the range of $135 million to $165 million here.
Just worth noting, BBI in context, it really didn't even move. Like no. It's gonna, like it'll say 5% up. Obviously, it was an up day already for BBAI, and then you look at the daily chart. Not really even a move. It didn't break any lows, didn't break out at the top, so it's going to end up being a nothing burger. So if you're looking for like a runner tomorrow, well, if it's trading exactly where it was in the middle of the day before,
exactly. I was going to say this is where it was at noon right there.
Exactly.
Looks like the revenue was better, of course, and there's the $269 million backlog. But what's Adara got for us?
Yeah, I was just going to talk about that Amazon there. Again, we tripled that net income to just over $60 billion, and that was mostly on that $53.4 billion Anthropic investment gain, just as the guys mentioned. I think that's pretty significant. It's also their first quarter of over $200 billion in revenue, also of note. And I just want to remind you guys as well to contextualize. Yes, we did miss on that revenue guidance, $197 billion to $202 billion versus $204 billion expected. But I believe they missed on revenue guidance last quarter as well. This is not the first time that Amazon's had kind of iffy guidance when it comes to revenue. So I'm not too horrified by this, truthfully. And I think they beat their guidance a lot this quarter. Like, we beat revenue by roughly $4 billion this quarter. So food for thought there on AMZN.
Touching double digits in here, which is pretty impressive. Like, remember, keep in mind, as we were mentioning earlier, we're already at 4% going into the print. So you are creeping into double-digit territory, 13%, obviously minus the 4. We're going to get 9. But I'm going to take you back to, as we wait for Apple, I'm going to take you back to Microsoft. Microsoft was up a little bit on just as impressive of a quarter. Actually, I would say more impressive of a quarter than Amazon has had, at least by the numbers, and then gapped up overnight because it was all about the call. They really liked the reaction to the call and then broke out. So as much as we should all be happy, if you're owning Amazon, you should be smiling right now. You're up 13% from prior day close, 9% from where we just closed minutes ago. But you got to get through the call. You know, oftentimes we can get exuberant. We got pretty excited about Intel when they reported they were up double digits. We came in the next morning and they were smoked. So we got a good bounce up from Microsoft. Amazon, at bare minimum, they don't need to gap up like Microsoft did, but you need to hold this level through the call, or it means to me nothing. If 250 doesn't hold through the call, when maybe they talk about CapEx, or maybe they address future spending and how it's going to affect the cash flow, if that doesn't look like it's getting any better, you might see a bit of a pullback. You got to be able to withstand that pullback, or none of this really matters.
So we haven't talked at all with none of these names really include China, right? I mean, not Amazon, not even Coinbase. But we do have Apple coming, and that's going to be a big look here as we worry about the demand out of Greater China and some of the international demand hitting as well. Because in China, we do know that there's a big push towards the Huawei phones and the Huawei services as well. And then China also involved, and then we just had that recent IPO with CXMT, a new sort of RAM name that's come out of nowhere that's set the market on fire there in China last week. So we could see if Apple does have some sort of a talk about where they're looking for some of their parts to put into these phones and what the cost will look like moving forward. So this is all going to be part of their look forward, right? Their forward guide. What are they thinking? Is it going to affect the market cap of Apple once they release some of those notes, right? We will wait for their earnings call, which is I think probably 5:30, I guess, with a 4:30 release, 5 o'clock earnings call. So that should be important. And as he had mentioned before, the last one for Mr. Cook, right? So that's true, right? So yeah, so we'll wait to see what he says there. It should be a nice heartfelt goodbye. I mean, he's done a gem for shareholders. I mean, when you're going to leave the company up at all-time highs,
$5 trillion.
You're doing a pretty good move there. And then we'll find out about their capital expenditures, right? I mean, are they too far behind right now with not basically putting any money towards that segment? What are they planning with their AI rollout, Adara?
Well, you mentioned China. Sean. So I wanted to go back to the annals of the TTV research infographics, because I knew I had one on China revenue for Apple, and I'm going to be updating it after tonight's report. But as you guys can see here, we actually reached this would have been 4-year highs for China revenue if you go to Q1 2026. So we're reporting Q3 for Apple. They're a quarter ahead of the market. So that would have been 2 quarters ago now. This would have been, I believe, the Christmas quarter. You get that nice little $25 billion top 4, that China revenue. Then you had decent China revenue last quarter as well. Now, this kind of, as you guys can see, this is just each quarter, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, across the last, going on 5 years now, 4.5 years. And as you guys can see, in 2025 and 2026, you start to see a little bit, A, slowing of a decline in China revenue, and B, actually an uptick in China revenue for Q1 and Q2 of 2026 so far. So yeah, let's see how Q3 goes. I think this could be a good look here for AAPL. And again, because I knew I had this visual, I thought, why not take it out? I also want to mention SMCI, seeing a headline right now on Supermicro, and it is moving a little bit here. So SMCI in focus, the company is apparently launching an AI rack series under the DCBBS portfolio. This portfolio is not new to SMCI, but I guess this new AI rack series is. So keep an eye on Supermicro. Let's see if this move is super as we await Apple. T-minus 6 minutes away.
Yeah, still some time. SMCI, look, it already was up 9% on the day. A little bit of a break of the high on that news, but nothing too crazy. I see people in the chat, they're talking about BBAI. And save man woman, that's an interesting comment, because I don't know that Amazon probably the safest play in this market. I don't think that's a take that many would say. We haven't even heard the call yet. It was a good quarter, but you could make the argument, okay, well, Microsoft had a better quarter, you're getting them cheaper. So that
I think based on what the reaction to the stock is.
That's fair, but Alphabet's got the most.
Yeah, but Alphabet still got hit hard. I don't know. You might be right about Amazon. I mean, they have the retail side of it. They have AWS is working. They have Anthropic in their back pocket with that investment. The largest booking profit, I think, ever there on an individual investment by a company today. $54 billion they put in their pocket. We do want to say a shout out to Ozan, Drew, that's here, Notorious Dinkelberg. As we read through the chat, the handyman is in the building as well. Save man, woman. It's just, I think you're right. Very, very diversified there. Thank you, everybody, for watching us. Now, we are 5 minutes away from Apple coming through. And by the way, for all you Big Bear AI haters, and it's not much to go on here today, look at the stacked. Oh, that's all New York books. We don't have to worry about it. Those all closed. But Big Bear AI regains what it had lost there on their call. It wasn't a big, or on their report. Not a big report for Big Bear AI today.
But actually,
still EPS negative 5 cents. We're hoping to get a positive look there.
What those do mean is at the close, somebody was on those offers. So if it chews through those prices, it could be a little bit significant.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with Big Bear. Sure. I mean, still 5 cents negative, and 269 million in backlog, which is nice to see right there. So, all right, man. I mean, you just mentioned that Supermicro launching a new AI rack series.
Oh, there's not news on this, but sympathy to what we're seeing here. Marvell is taking higher in the aftermarket.
Oh, good. Okay.
So I did see it. I was in the chat when we were going through reading comments. There was a comment specifically. It was literally Marvell and a bunch of rocket emojis. Marvell is up. Okay, it's 18% now, but we were chilling. We were at, what, 186. So another $7 since the close. That one running here. Might even see that 200. 200 hasn't even been that big of a level. It's more like 208 to 210. So the recovery is certainly on. And you don't want to ignore some of the sympathy names as we start to see strong earnings. Like, we've basically had strong earnings, and I mean, from all of the hyperscalers. Like, who are we disappointed by right now? Like, you could make the argument that we're not happy with Meta, but we're not. Meta's still going to keep spending. We're just not happy with what they're able to get from the spending. We at least see Amazon and Alphabet and Microsoft, all of them justifying with cloud growth they're spending. So I think that's a good thing down the line, and that definitely benefits Marvell.
Amazon Bedrock customer spending in Q2 exceeded all previous quarters combined. Also, I'm seeing here that Graviton is now used by 98% of its top 1,000 ECT customers. So revenue nearly tripled over there on Graviton 5. I don't even know. That's their new release there. But again, another reason there. I was just looking at SMCI upside there on some sort of a random story there coming out. All right, moments away. I want to thank everybody for watching us. Make sure you hit the like and the subscribe right now. We're going to do this for every single major earnings day. We did it yesterday. And today, Apple, of course, keeps us here a little later. Sorry about that, Sia. As it is now moments away from Apple going out at 335. Look, it's at or near all-time highs. I mean, it didn't have the get up that the rest of the names had today, so we pull back a little bit. We're down 1% today on Apple as a lot of the focus goes back into the capex spend. We saw, like you just mentioned, Marvell there today. Names like IREN got going. Names like Dell got everything. Oops, not 2Ds. Dell got everything back today as well, back up to 407 off of a bad move into 366. So Dell back upside there. We'll see if Apple can get going. I don't know. We had some talks about, maybe Sirius and maybe it was Corvo and some other names that could be some secondary plays against Apple. So we'll wait to see if there is any sort of a pushback on those names as well. But here we go. I'm looking for Greater China. Adair just sort of talked about that as well. We're looking for service revenues to be at the upside and then just what their total revenues are. And then, we know they have a huge total addressable market, but what does that look like? North America versus China. Pretty interested in that. And then what their DRAM and all their memory costs.
Well, services revenue is doubly important when you know that the costs are going up. So really, on the hardware side, it's going to cost more. They're probably not going to pass through costs on everything. They'll do so on a few items. So service revenue, you're going to have to lean on a heck of a lot more. That's going to be a big one for sure. We're like China. I feel like the China concern, that's going to be more about when things are done with Iran or when the administration is focused somewhere else. We're going to have to wait there.
The implied move, I think, is under 4%. Yeah, 3.3. So it's not. We're not expecting.
It's Apple.
We're not expecting a huge move, but if you get 3%, you take out new all-time highs. So yeah, momentarily, as soon as we get it, we'll see the name run around here, and we'll call it through. Adara will parse through those numbers, and we'll get it to you right here. But yeah, again, looking at all-time highs, will we break down? Put in the chat. Do you guys think we go up or down? Let's go ones for up, twos for downs, and just put it in. And we can't. I don't have the ability to make that new chat. Well, it's too late right now. So it looks like Apple right now, we're starting to get some volumes going through right now. Potentially a non-mover right now, but we're going to go to Adara who has them.
Yeah, thank you to Apple for releasing your report in a way that is easy to read. Sorry, Roblox. Let's talk here about AAPL. We have Q3 2026 revenue of $109.4 billion. This could be up 16% year over year. Gross margin 50.1%, 50.1%, including a favorable impact of roughly 2% from tariff refunds. Diluted EPS 2.02. That's, I know, above estimates of $1.88, $1.89. It's also up 29% year over year. And it also included a favorable tariff impact. So without the tariff impact, guys, we would have just met EPS estimates. That actually could end up biting them here. You've got year-over-year growth in products revenue, services revenue, total net sales, as we know here, strong year-over-year growth. Let's go here to region. Okay, here we go for the region. So America's $45.7 billion in revenue versus $41.1 last time. This is going to be a year-over-year increase. Europe revenue up year-over-year. Greater China revenue up year-over-year. 18.8 bill versus 15.37 bill last time. Japan revenue up year-over-year, and rest of Asia Pacific up year-over-year. That is year-over-year revenue growth across the board, and they did have that slight revenue beat here, $109.42 billion versus $108.85 billion. So they did beat on EPS and sales, but it's actually quite narrow beats, especially when you get rid of the tariff impact for that EPS print.
We're heading to the downside here, but it is down 3.8%. So obviously not a gigantic move. Like, that's Apple for you at the end of the day. You're not, double digits is not usually the course. It's just not going to happen. Haven't really seen. I want to see some of the percentage gains. And again, the conference call is going to be a big deal. Yeah, it's sort of the idea. These are very small beats. Mac might have been.
The problem is they miss on the services.
Well, that's the thing. But
that's where it is.
And they're going to have to lean on that more because costs are going up. So I think that's what everyone hating on is the wrong word because it's down 4%. But it is still more than the expected move, or slightly more than the expected move here for Apple.
Yeah, we're starting to get a little lower here, 324 and change. So you got to miss on the iPad. We got to miss on the services. And as Adara mentioned, the tariffs, a dividend declared of 27 cents per share. So that's not going to be too much of an effect unless you're holding millions of shares. Shout out to Warren Buffett and company there. Gross margin's better, 50 versus 47.92. So we like that one. What's up, Adara?
Well, the gross margin is also much like with the EPS, as I mentioned, that's a 2% tariff benefit as well. So you still beat without the benefit, but just not nearly as much. The other thing with Apple is Greater China. Now, as I mentioned, up on a year-over-year basis to $18.82 billion versus roughly just above $15 billion last prior year quarter, but that did miss estimates from at least one source here of 19.67 billion. So you do get, again, much like what you saw with services and iPad and even wearables, you're up on a year-over-year basis, but you're falling short of analyst expectations, and that's really what's going to be getting Apple to the downside right now.
Right, I mean,
Doesn't give me the warm fuzzy feels, but at the end of the day, I think, you know, you got to rest your laurels on the conference calls and specifically the fact that Amazon is holding all of its gains right now. So, you know, ultimately there was probably more concern in the market for the hyperscalers that are spending than there was for Apple, because you've been riding that wave. And I think rotation makes sense. As you were saying, they are pretty expensive on a PE, and it's a little unprecedented for them to come into an earnings after just hitting the 5 trillion mark and being that expensive on a PE basis. So some selling does make some sense, but it's an Amazon story today. That's where we got to be the happiest, and not so much for Coinbase, not so much for Reddit, but certainly at least AWS for the win.
Yeah, I don't like the low service number for Apple, because we were sort of riding high on that, and now you're back into, again, 325. Not really worth, you know, crying about. You know, a 320 would be interesting tomorrow morning. We'll see if we can get that kind of a bounce back for Apple. 320. So that's a level that we were just at 5 days ago. So it sucks because, as Neil said, you're pulling back from such a high base there, just creating all-time highs 2 days or yesterday actually. But yeah, Apple's still good. You know, a little worried about the China number, but we did know that Huawei would be a problem, of course, right? So China coming through there. But yeah, good show overall. Yeah, Amazon for the win today, it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like it for sure.
Yeah, what do you guys think over there, girls?
Honestly, Apple too, not bad either. Even the China analysts were expecting on FactSet for it to be 18.77, so it came at almost like 100%, I would say, in line with that. But one thing also that I was reading was to consider that Apple is the one out of the competitors in China that hasn't raised its prices yet. So that is also a look to take a look at, because you have Samsung, Xiaomi, and Vivo, Oppo that have all raised prices this year in the China market. So that could also be another interesting look to take at China.
Yeah, the EPS at 11 cents favorable impact from tariffs, right? So interesting look on that one from the tariff side of things. And we don't even have tariffs settled yet, right? No. I mean, so we'll have to see how that all pans out. Isn't the President Xi is coming late August?
So I was seeing August. I've also been seeing September. I think probably August. So we'll have to wait and see. I will be watching that with bated breath. And guys, I actually already prepared this for you. Probably going to have it released when the Blue Ocean opens up here around 8 p.m. But yes, this is just a comp here. I use the traditional Apple colors because I'm a nerd. But you've got here for Q3 26 versus Q3 25 for both net sales by category. So that's, you know, product, and then by region. As you guys can see, year-over-year growth in all of these, but the Japan year-over-year growth very, very slight. And when it comes to iPad and accessories, it's getting pretty tight here. So yeah, that's our look here. This will be on XTTV Research within the next couple hours.
Apple's iPhone just grew 22% sales there in this quarter. And I just read something here. It says the product that everyone calls mature just added the equivalent of an entire Fortune 500 company's quarter revenue just in new growth alone.
And remember,
I mean,
not increasing prices in China and not increasing prices on all items here, and costs going up, and they still were able to have improved margins.
Some of these numbers are just absolutely.
It's pretty impressive when you think. I know it's going down. The whole country's GDP.
It's crazy. There for Apple. So yeah, another successful earnings release day. We want to thank everybody for watching us again. Thank you, Sia, Neil, Adara, and everybody in the back working the cameras there as well. Pardon, Fabian. Thank you to Fabian for sure.
What's a company you guys are grateful for?
What's a company that we're grateful for?
Yeah, grateful.
For me, it would be, Palantir. The investment that we made in Palantir was a changer for my portfolio. So I'm grateful. Although Palantir hasn't been great this year, but it was quite a move. So I'm still grateful for Palantir.
I'll always be grateful for ARM. That's probably the one if I had to pick. I mean, not recently, but ARM for certainly for myself, I guess.
And you just stepped into a few stocks yourself. She was telling me a story that she was happy to buy Nvidia.
Yeah, I am grateful for Nvidia.
There you go. So how many different companies do you own? You don't have to go over them all. Is it 5 or 6? Is it?
I'll be very honest. I'm investing heavily in ETFs over individual stocks. So I would say like XEQT, VEQT, and VYM. That's the high dividend ETF. And,
high dividend. Okay.
Honestly, just Nvidia and Bloom Energy here.
See, I need to speak to you about portfolio management after this, and we will do that. No, because I think someone your age should not be in a high dividend ETF, and we'll talk about why at some other point. Of course, not financial advice given to anyone but friends. I don't want to do this to anybody else. Right there, because when we always talk about time being on your side.
Yes.
And if it is growth stocks,
and more on some people's sides than others, let's just say.
Yes. We have a couple more years to retirement.
In Katina Capital.
There we go. You can invest in Katina Capital. That is for sure. Adara, thank you so much for everything today. She's busy working, and Adara's, I think, one of the best calls we've seen on the show, of course, is when Adara was talking about selling Oracle. And that's she got me out of that stock in the 300s, and now it's $120.
And here's the thing. I don't care if it goes up one day. People always like to troll me, oh, Dara's scared to talk about Oracle. I'm not. I gave it its props for going up. But I don't need to get started on the fundamental case again because I'm going to put you all to sleep, and I don't want to do that because it's time to go home.
All right. We'll never bring up Oracle again.
Not what I'm saying.
Thank you, everybody. It's been a fantastic show. I'll see everybody on Monday, but you're going to see the whole crew tomorrow at 8 a.m. So thank you to everybody working in the back, and more importantly, thank you to all the viewers that we have live every single day at Trader TV. If you guys don't come to the show and support it, we don't do it. So we want to say thank you to everybody for that. All right, I got to get out of here. 4:40. We'll see everybody tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Ciao.